And I remember, again, I'm not sure why this is the case, but I was, it's a little bit of history, and this is not about me, but a bit of history. I was born in a suburb called Richmond in South Australia. And it's closer to the most boring place on earth. It was sort of semi-industrial then. Everything was boring. The houses were boring. They were sort of post-depression houses. Everything was pretty average. And for whatever reason, I did not want to be average. And I'm not sure, you don't know why, you've sort of got to analyse, but most of the things which drive us in our early years happen before we reach the age of reason. Oh, you want to write that down. Because most of our actions and attitudes and philosophies are pretty much set before we reach the age of reasoning, which is sort of like 6, 7, 8 years old. And for whatever reason, I was just more ambitious than anybody else. And that ambition as a philosophy is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just the way it is. But be careful what you set your mind on, for that you will surely get. And so what I found was that I attracted circumstances which supported my ambition. One of the things I did, my first and only job, was in advertising. And I would get to the agency very early. And when I say early, like 6 o'clock, most of these guys didn't start work until 9. They're supposed to start at 9, but they got there at 9:30, 10 o'clock. By about 11 o'clock, I'd had most of my work done. And I learned somewhere that if you're there when everybody arrives and you're still there when they leave, they don't sort of question what you're doing through most of the day. And so what I would do most of the day was my other businesses or go surfing. And I remember I was down at the surf shop, Jeff's Surf Shop, and I was sponsored by, good surfer. I was sponsored. I could pick the surfboards that I wanted and so on. And I remember I was talking to Jeff, Surf Shop Jeff, and this guy drove up in this big gold Dodge. And I'm like, back then, do they still make that? And it was this big gold Dodge. And I thought, man, this guy's got to be a multi-gazillionaire. And he walked in and started to talk to the guy that owned the surf shop. I'm listening to this guy. And I recognised this guy from the surfing. He wasn't a very good surfer, and he was a very busy sort of a guy. But he looked really, really successful and rich. I mean, anybody driving a gold Dodge had to be rich, And I'm listening to this guy, and he's talking about the power of choice, and he's talking about opportunity, he's talking about success, and it's progressive realisation of work on predetermined person. And I'm listening to this, he's talking to Jeff, and he left. And I was about to go surfing that day. I was going to go down the coast because the surf was good. And I said, who is that guy? And his name was Mark Robinson. I said, what's he talking about? He says, he sells these personal motivation programs. I said, how much are they? He says, $600. So I went down to the bank, got the $600, and went to this guy's office. And I remember saying to this guy, hi, Mr. Robinson, I'm George. I saw you at Jeff's today. Can I buy one of them programs? And he said, he sort of looked at me and laughed, like 18, $600. That was a lot of money back then. And I said, and I've got my money. Like the cash. That was the easiest sale I'd ever made in his entire life. And I started to work on this personal development stuff at a very young age. And I got really clear that personal development is not about being exposed to information. Personal development is about overcoming, you want to write notes, it's about overcoming obstacles which stand between you and the achievement of worthwhile predetermined personal goals. I had my plans that I was going to be in advertising, but I realized very quickly that I was too impatient to wait for the process of career development in advertising. So I joined this company. And there was a period where I got some customers, again, selling personal development programs. And there was a period where I made 100 single sales presentations and did not make one sale. I just wanted to get you clear. At 18, that was like 100 absolute rejections. Not, I'll think about it, but 100 rejections in a row. And it was devastating for me. But in my mind, it didn't matter. Whatever it was going to take to succeed, I made the decision, whatever it would take to succeed, I made the decision that that's what I was going to do. And I remember on my 101st sales presentation, I said to this guy, he owned a pool hall place. And I can tell you now, the power of space repetition. what his name was, John. John, it's obviously understand the appreciate the benefits of breaking. I tell like it, I believe in it. Any questions about what ordered and this by the way it happens. That's part of it. You're getting with the same thing. Yeah, I can give that presentation after all these years, right? Would you prefer to pay cash? The time person, I didn't want to be. He said, I'll pay cash. I said, is there any other reason you hesitate? Geez, he said, yes. I didn't know what to do. And he laughed. And he said, George, I don't really care what you were selling. He said, I would pay $600 to sit and listen to the most enthusiastic 1 hour I've ever experienced in my entire life. And you know, it's an interesting thing that for most of us, and I learned way back then the power of enthusiasm. And it wasn't a fake enthusiasm, it was your enthusiasm, my enthusiasm, the enthusiasm that comes from within. It comes from knowing exactly what you want to do and doing it no matter what, whatever the price is you've got to pay. And that was a determination that created this level of enthusiasm. Long story short, he gave me some referrals. I'll tell you how he gave the referrals. This is how he edified me. You might want to write this down for education experience. He phones up John Reynolds, Drum City. John, I can't think of the guy's name. John, it's John here. You're going to get a call. In fact, I'll put him on the phone in a minute from a young guy called George Knight. He's coming around. You're going to listen to him for an hour, and you're going to give him $600 and become a client of his. Okay? That was his edification of me. And 18 months later, I bought out the South Australian franchise of that company. And at 21, I got 4 out of the 7 international awards in that personal development company. And from little old South Australia, again, I'm telling you all this because there's a price you've got to pay for success. Yeah? No, you don't. There's a price you've got to pay for failure. There is no price to pay for success because every single step, every single no, every single rejection, every single fear was a stepping stone towards freedom. Making sense? There is no price. People think you've got to pay the price for success. No, you don't. You've got to pay the price for failure. Success is purely just a journey. Talk about it in a moment. And anyway, long story short, that was the most incredible apprenticeship in that business. I left that company because I was never going to achieve the freedom that I wanted. Since I was young, very young, I always wanted to earn, I didn't understand it, but I always wanted to earn a royalty income. For those of you writing notes, I'm going to share this with you. Wealth does not give you freedom. Royalty income can give you freedom. But if you match royalty income with an industry which is at the start of a growth phase, in a company which is strong, which is part of that growth phase, that creates financial freedom. Freedom from worry, freedom from concern, freedom of choice, freedom of thinking, being free. Free to do what you want to do, even if that isn't doing things which make money. Is this making sense? So, you know what I say? Wealth doesn't give you freedom. Making a lot of money doesn't give you freedom. Royalty income gives you freedom, can give you freedom. Royalty income connected to an industry which is at the start of a growth phase, in a company which is secure and solid, gives you freedom. And that's what we found. You know, after a long time of searching, after working very hard for 20 years in 2 different businesses, which still operate, luckily I found Herbalife. Now, I'm going to define Herbalife to you. Again, today I'm not just going to talk about Herbalife, I'm going to talk about setting goals in all areas, but I want to define Herbalife. My Herbalife may not be yours. Herbalife is a personal development, royalty-driven business. Herbalife, our Herbalife, is a personal development, royalty-driven company with an amazing product, an incredible marketing plan, and an extraordinary company to support it. You hear what I just said? And I thought we're in the nutrition business. Of course we're in the nutrition business, but there's 6,000 companies in the nutrition business. We do 1/3 of the total business. And then within this business, there is the group that we're lucky enough to be part of around the world. And that group, our group, the group that we belong, that we're part of, is a personal development, loyalty-driven business with an incredible product, an amazing marketing plan, and an extraordinary company to support. What I've learned is if you want to become free in this business, it is directly connected to your personal development. It is directly connected to your growth. The degree to which you grow personally will determine your royalty income and the speed by which you earn it. One of the reasons that I was able to get the president's team very quickly, based on other people's standards, was that I already had a lot of personal development before I got into level up. Does that make sense? I can tell you, some of you have to really arc up your personal development big time if you want to survive and prosper in this business. Because some of you haven't had that much personal development prior to joining. Some of you, and I know many of you, have had an extraordinary amount of personal development. All right? Personal development, overcoming obstacles and roadblocks will stand between you and the achievement of goals which are important to you. You understand? Not just reading books. I know people who have read more books than I've had hot dinners who are mental midgets. And have not grown at all. I'm just more inspirationally confused. I know everything, and I'm a freaking loser. You understand? So it's got nothing. Then you see other people that haven't read that many books. But they listen and learn. They listen and learn. They listen and learn and apply. They listen and learn and apply. So that's why I say we're a personal development, royalty-driven business. And this is the key. The magic of our business. Remember I said it's the start of a growth phase in a company which is extremely solid. Startups in this industry are not good. I'll fill you in on that. Because 99.99% of them fail. So you may be really good, you may be fantastic, but if the vehicle you choose doesn't survive, then bad luck, isn't it? The vast majority of people who deserve financial freedom do not in fact achieve financial freedom. I'm not talking about the people that don't deserve it. They're lazy bums, they don't work. You know, they want a payout, they want handouts, they want, they're not prepared to accept personal responsibility. I'm talking about those people who really work hard, who really put in the effort, who go for it. The vast majority of those people do not achieve financial freedom. And the reason why is because what they choose to do to achieve their financial freedom fails them. You know, like I would not like to be joining the financial services industry today. You know, some people will succeed. I just think the chances of success are much slimmer with the unbelievable legislative changes and regulations and flag you've got to get involved. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that people won't become financially independent. I just think personally it's a little more challenging in banking or finance and so on. In our industry, if you're going to understand, healthy, active lifestyle, this industry, healthy, active lifestyle nutrition is the fastest growing consumer business in Australia today, one of the fastest growing in the world. The industry in which we are placed is the fastest growing consumer goods business in the country. So that's a good message, isn't it? So we're at the start of a growth phase. It doesn't seem to be leveling out. It seems to be increasing in pace, increasing in opportunity. So I just wanted to set the stage for what we're going to cover off. If you and I are not making the progress that we're capable of, that we're able to make, and truly have the capacity to achieve, if we're not making the progress and we would like, in my opinion, my belief is because our goals are not clearly defined. If things aren't working out for you, I know this is a hell of a statement to make. For some of you, you can say, well, what about this? And I've got this and I've got that and that sort of jazz. I hear that with my beige face. But I think from my experience, if we're not moving at the rate that we want to, if things aren't working out the way we want them to work out, if things aren't happening the way we want them to happen, in my mind, it's because our goals are not clearly defined. In the olden days, when I was young, in the olden days, you take a photograph and if the lens was half out of focus, what happened to the print? Usually they just didn't send it back to you. They just didn't print it. But if they did print it, if the lens was half out of focus, the print would come back half out of focus. I'm not sure if that happens with with the technology today. However, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Anyway, a little story. Edwin Land, you know, most of you don't know the Land camera. First, you know, that thing, this camera. You used to get this little, you used to have to get this little sealer thing, paint the sealer thing on the little film, and yeah. Anyway, Edwin Land was already a very wealthy guy, and he put all of his wealth on the line to create this camera. He said all the scientists said it can't be done, all the financiers said it couldn't be done, no way. And he said, I will have a camera where people can take a photograph and get the results straight away. I will have that camera. And everybody said, no, it won't work, won't work. And he literally had to spend all of his money, borrowed as much money as he could, and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. And told me this, but within 12 months of the camera being that crappy old camera, they'd made $300 million from just one camera. You know, Walt Disney said he wanted Disneyland. And everybody said, who wants an amusement park? You know, like an amusement park, you think of down here in St Kilda, don't you? You know, sort of crappy vibes, ugly people. And he said, I want an amusement park. And the financier said, what do you mean amusement park? So he couldn't even borrow money. And he said, you know, the bankers can't see the vision that I've got. They can't see, you know, they want numbers. And anyway, he'd gotten down to, he had no money left when they opened this, like zero, zip, no money. In fact, I just learned the other day, even the weeds, he got weeds and he put little signs next to the weeds saying these were, you know, California, such and such grass. So that's the weeds. Anyway, within 90 days, they had 1 million visitors walk through the park. And he said, all these years he'd had financial troubles. Within 90 days, all of his financial troubles were over. I'm going to say this to you, that within 90 days, you can set the stage for your financial future forever. The difference is, and this is what we're going to be talking about today, it's a little bit like if, who here weighs around, say, 45 kilos? Okay, stand up, Maria. Selwyn, how much do you weigh? 115. Oh, so Selwyn is twice Maria's weight. More, 2.5 times more. Let's assume this floor here is not carpet, but it's polished wood. Stand up, stand up. And what happens is polished wood. You know those homes you get with the polished wood, you know, and everybody says, take your shoes off? Selwyn walks in and he forgets to take his shoes off, and he's got big gumboots on. And I'm going to say, hey, Selwyn, I want you to make an impact, because we don't like the owners of this place. I want you to make an impact on that wooden floor. You know, the polished, got the message. So you know, you've got to be careful, mate. Put your chairs and where you. And I'm going to say to Selwyn, I want you to make an impact on that wooden floor, 115 kilos. So he jumps up and down, jumps and jumps and jumps and jumps. Do some jumps, Selwyn. Yeah, jumps and jumps. Put the hat on too. So he jumps and jumps and jumps. And what happens to the floor? Nothing. There's no mark in it. Maria walks in. Little mini skirt and thing on. And Maria's got the stiletto heels on, right? And so Maria walks in with the stiletto heels, and all she does, whatever the weight that Maria is, and all she's got to do is put a little weight on her heels. What happens? The heel sinks into the wood and makes an impact into the wood. Got a vision here? That is exactly how what can happen in this next 90 days. It's stiletto heel focus. Thank you, guys. It's stiletto heel focus, not gumboot focus. Does it make sense? It's a 90-day focus, not a, you know, don't spread it out. Don't boom, 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 boom. Absolute focus is the key. So I'm going to come back. If you and I are not making the progress we'd like and are capable of, it's simply because our goals are not clearly defined. What we're going to do this morning is talk a little of the theory, then we're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to pick out maybe 1 or 2 people, and we're going to show them how to put together a plan of action towards the next step in our business. But I want to stress this. I said to you that we're covering off on all areas, not just Herbalife. But this is my belief. In Herbalife, if all you do is focus on the next pin, the next step of our business. And so if you're a supervisor, let me tell you what the next thing to focus on is. Ready for this? Active World Team. I know there's a few little steps in between there, but if you're a supervisor, the next step is to focus on Active World Team. But now, why would you focus on Active World Team? Based on what I just said about our business. That's when the royalty game starts to engage. We're not in this business to make money, guys. Any idiot can make money. Now, I know that for a fact, because I've seen some idiots make money. We are about earning royalty money. In other words, you build your business to the point where it's earning a good income based on helping other people achieve their goals. It's the only way to earn royalty income in our business. You can't do it yourself. The only way to earn a royalty income is helping other people achieve their goals. In doing that, you generate a royalty income. Is this making sense? I'll explain it a little more later. So if all you do is focus on the next step, if you're a supervisor today, then the goal is to become Active World Team. If you're Active World Team, the goal is to become a Get Team. The Get Team, it's Get 2.5. Get 2.5 is Millionaire Team. Millionaire Team is Mill Team 7.5. Mill Team 7.5 is Present Team and beyond. Now, for the uninitiated, they're just steps in the marketing plan. What you need to do is today, open up the manual, go to the career manual, look at the steps. But I'm telling you, supervisor, next step is Active World Team. Active World Team is the engine which drives our business. Now, you get other opinions about that. I'm telling you, you want to write that down. Active World Team is the engine which drives our business. It drives your financial future. Active World Team to Global Expansion Team. 80% of everybody who becomes an Active World Team member will become a Global Expansion Team member. The Global Expansion Team member in our business is earning that $5,000 to $15,000 a month royalty income. Now, for some of you, that's going to feel like lifting yourself up by your shoelaces. Because where you think you are, where you think you've got to be, there seems to be a huge gap. But I'm telling you guys, once it's mentally accomplished, it'll be physically accomplished. You've got to see it. You know, seeing is believing, but you've got to see it here. You've actually got to get the picture clear. I was talking with Selwyn this morning, and Mark, I think yesterday. But we all think we've got to pay the price. No, what that happens is we've got to beat the shit out of ourselves to the point where we think we deserve to be successful. Does that make sense? Sorry, getting swearing there, little babies, sorry. But it's purely a choice. There is no price to pay for success. There is only a price to pay for failure. But you get really, really clear on it. You okay with that, guys? So if you focus on the next step within the marketing plan, that's all you got to do to achieve goals in all these areas. That's all you got to do. Yeah, sure, George. It's all you've got to do, because I can tell you, you won't get to the next step unless you get yourself physically okay. I mean, you can, I'll be real clear on this. This is the Mark Hughes signature organisation. It is not okay anymore to not be moving in the right direction physically. You may not be your perfect weight now, but if you're the same weight, if you're overweight, you're the same weight in a month's time, that is dumb. Given that we've got such an easy solution. You know what I'm saying? It's just dumb. It's not okay. It's just not okay. If you haven't got energy, it's just not okay not to have energy, because the solution is so damn simple. Clearly, I'm going to give you a product training. Ready for this? You know that shape? This is what you got to do. Twice a day. Those little tablets, product training. You got a lot more weight to lose? A little more weight to lose? Or you want to gain weight? We were talking about it before. Just, I don't know how to say it to you any way. Listen, you know that guy, if you want to get it, remember 90 days? You can change your entire life in 90 days. You can change your life in 90 days. It's like the guy that wants to lose weight takes one shake every 2 days. It's not going to work. It's not okay anymore. Is this okay? Did I say that it's not okay? It's not okay. It doesn't mean we all have to look, like Maria, or we all have to look like Sylvie. But we've got to, I'm never going to look like Sylvie, or certainly not look like Maria. But we've got to be moving in the right direction. We talk about being the level 10. That's not level 10 compared to anybody else. That's your level 10. Am I making sense of what I'm saying? Success is the progressive realization of worthwhile, predetermined personal goals. Success is the progressive realization of worthwhile, predetermined personal goals. Success, by definition, is a journey. And the point of success is not the end game. The point of success is the beginning, when you make the decision and you start moving. And that has got predetermined, worthwhile, personal goals. Got nothing to do with anybody else. But in our business, ask yourself this question. If you weren't you, would you ask you about the products? I hear people say to me, what are the sales techniques? How do I present? I keep looking at them and thinking, I don't know what you say. I'm on the products. You get on it. And if you're not happy with what you see in the mirror that morning, no matter what you say, it's not going to work. This makes it, and by the way, some people think they've got to lose all of the weight as a weight thing, lose all of the weight before they do business. Well, that's even worse. I can tell you, because the people that care about you say, well, if it's so good, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? We think they will buy just because we look good, and it ain't going to happen that way. The only person that's got to feel good about how they look is themselves when they look in the mirror, regardless of what comes out of your mouth. I'm really strong with this guy. This is the simplest key, the most important key to being financially independent and getting to the next stage of the marketing plan. Be the brand. It's okay? You're going to ask yourself the question, if you weren't you look in the mirror. Yes, I would approach me. If I wasn't me, I would ask me, well, what are you doing? Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to buy. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to sign. Does that make sense? Like it is wake up time. It's not okay. So that's all you've got to do. This is how you set a goal. If you want to achieve the next PIN, set a physical goal. What is the physical goal? I'll defer to mine later on. For me, physical goal, 82 kilos, flat stomach, and I want to sleep peacefully for 7 hours a night. Physically, I'm pretty happy with that. 82 kilos, got 2.5 kilos to go, 82 kilos, flat stomach, muscles. They're cool. I want to be able to ski on my 100th birthday. It's just a goal. Well, this is my long-term goal. In my dream section, right on the back of my plan of action, which I'll show you later on, I want to ski at a place called Aspen, Colorado, on my 100th birthday. I want to live to 104. Why 104? Well, it's 1 year less than 105. I don't know where that came from. 104, that's good. Doesn't matter really, does it? So if I want to live to 104, I'll sit next to a person on the plane coming out of Brisbane yesterday. When you sit next to someone in the plane and you either want to punch them in the face or please can you move, but there's no other seats. We've got to be told, I'm going to go 104. I wouldn't want to be 104 and really old and decrepit. You just spoke to me for half an hour. You think, I have a goal to be 104 and old and decrepit. That's my goal. Blink. So she was a lovely person. I love everybody. Why 104? Because that changes everything. I can't have conflicting relationships if I want to live to 104. It's too freaking stressful. Right? I can't not go to gym at least 3 times a week, and for me, it's and be with somebody who understands my goal. Which is making sense. I can't eat crap. I'm not going to make it to 104. I've got to have a great attitude. I've got to get some sun. I've got to get some exercise. I've got to keep my brain going. I've got to hang around young people. You don't want to hang around 104-year-olds, do you? They're old. You're never going to see me on a cruise. Ever. doesn't matter. Got it? You know, I'm always going to love Walt Disney and Peter Pan and Mickey Mouse because that's part of the 104 philosophy. Is it making sense, guys? What do you stand for? Physically, what is, and as a process of this, it makes the business easier. Whatever this means, whatever it is for you, you're going to hang your hat on something. That's what I'm hanging my hat on, physically. Pretty simple, really. So, mentally, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm constantly on guard. I'm on guard for my mind because I know that negative stuff can creep in pretty quickly. You know, I know that when I wake up in the morning, there's that real tendency to go to Channel 9 and watch the news. I know that. So I've set up my personal development listening material so it's easier to be listening to good stuff in the morning than it is to be watching the television. Is it making sense? If I used to set it at Channel 9 before I'd go to bed so I could wake up and turn the TV on, it would be on Channel 9. Now it's on whatever channel it is. It's not on Channel 9. It's easier to press the button and be listening to personal development material first thing in the morning. Mentally, I've got personal development books everywhere around the house. In the office, in the bathroom, in the other bathroom, in the bedroom. There's always something that is easier for me if I wake up in the morning, and I wake up in the middle of the night, I can read. There's something, action step for yourself, mental development goal. A mental development goal would be to go and buy a really good personal development book. You say, what is it? Look, I don't know, anything that's, one of my favourites right now is a book called Failing at 4. It's a really good book by, his name is, can't remember. There's the Tao of Pooh, there's the Illusion, there's a million good books around. Personally, anything that has got Mark Hughes or Jim Rohn on it is what I'm going to tend to be listening to and watching and reading, okay? Financial goal. You ready for it? This is a simple goal. Save 10%. Just get in the habit of saving 10%, but I'm not making much. Save 10% of not much. Because when it gets a big amount, you're in the habit of putting away 10%. Now, this is my philosophy. Other people talk about tithing and allocating some to charity and so on and so on and so on. You know, I give a lot of money to the Herbalife Family Foundation. So for me, 10%, putting 10% aside, for me, for some of you guys who have been around for a while, I save my non-Australian earnings. That's in an account that I never touch, never see, and that becomes my investment account. For those of you starting to build international business, you'll start to see that. Clear? 10%. Whatever it is, even if it's a small amount. The habit of saving a little bit, the habit means you're in control of money. The ethical, spiritual, moral area. You know, I really believe you need goals in that area. Because again, we can get hooked into wrong thinking. For me, my entire focus is having more empathy with people who aren't as privileged as me. Listen to people's situations. Try to have empathy, not sympathy. This year, for 2018, I've got an empathy goal. It's a little bit specific and it's a little personal, but for me that's an important thing because I've let that one slip in the last little while. Family goals. Now, some of you are going to have to make arrangements with your wives and your husbands and your children. You're going to have to sit them down and say, listen guys, I'm going to really go for it this year. Most of your upline above me, above Rodney, is a lady called Lorraine Richardson. Lorraine, she won't mind me telling the story. Lorraine was divorced, or getting divorced, and because of the circumstances, they were about to do a mortgagee auction on her home. They put a sign out the front, the bank's got a sign out the front. She tells the story that she walked out, and Lorraine used to always wear high heel shoes, always, so she walked out and kicked the sign down in her high heels. And she approached about a dozen different banks who wouldn't lend her the money, you know, single mum, blah, blah, blah. Those days they weren't lending money to single mums. She eventually got a bank to lend her the money to take over the mortgage to keep the house. She then sat down with the kids, and Ben and the other son, I can't remember his name, said, okay guys, this is what's going to happen. For the next 12 months, mum is going to work like crazy. I'm going to work 7 days a week, 7 nights a week. I won't be able to come to some of the school things. I won't be able to spend as much time as we'd like. I'm going to be tired, I'm going to be working. But at the end of that, we are going to go and we're going to fly to Disneyland first class. Now, firstly, she had to have the guts to say that. I don't know about you. I mean, you can sort of say stuff to anybody else but your kids, because your kids will hold you to it. Lorraine used to say, you know, she'd be there at night, tired as anything. And Ben would walk in and say, Mum, you've got to come and make some more phone calls. We're going to go to Disneyland. You know, and anyway, a year later, she flew with the two kids and an assistant, got picked up from Tumbiumbi, New South Wales. In Tumbiumbi, that's almost like Nubu. From Tumbiumbi, New South Wales, got the airport, first class to Disneyland. So sometimes you're going to have to make deals with your family, you know, and that's going to take some courage. Because I can tell you, one of the lessons that your kids need to learn is that there is a benefit of doing this work. There is a benefit of working to be free. Does it make sense? By the way, another friend of mine said, look, just get your kids' attitude right in the beginning. They'll go through, whatever happens, they'll go through a period of hating you anyway, so don't worry about that. They'll eventually work out that you were right and things are great. He was a family law court barrister friend of mine. Anyway, in social areas. Guys, the magic of our business is this. You can actually have the choice of who you work with. But there's a real challenge there. I love hanging out with my Herbalife friends. And that's a great thing, and it's not a great thing. Because what tends to happen, you tend to follow the line of least resistance. You hang out with the people you care about. And I'm saying in our business, you need to get engaged with people who aren't necessarily going to think your way and go in your way. In other words, you need to break away from the group, the little square that you feel in which you feel comfortable. Is this making sense? I'm going to give you a statement. I want you to write this down. This is one of the most important statements I've said today. If you're not spending time every day in an uncomfortable face-to-face situation, you'll never succeed. I can tell you now, if you ask yourself the simple question, how much time do you spend each day in a situation of discomfort, you'll shock yourself. Discomfort is a result of fear of rejection. Fear of rejection means, you know, all of our lives we said, you know, don't speak to strangers, don't put your values on other people, don't overstep your mark. We're going to do our business. What are we going to do? We're going to talk to strangers. We're going to overstep the mark. It's exactly the opposite. It's almost opposite. We're going to go and do stuff that we've been told not to do. We're going to talk to strangers all the time. We're going to talk to strangers. Talk to strangers. You understand? So the conditioning, we've almost got to go through a period of discomfort. So I'm going to say to you socially, how many uncomfortable situations are you going to engage in on a daily basis? If all you do is focus on the next step in the marketing plan, it's almost automatic that you're going to have goals in all these areas. I'm going to give you a couple more theories, and then we're going to open up to some questions. Some theories, some principles of goal setting. Your goals have to be written. And I'm going to say, written in your hand in a journal of some sort. Sort of a magical process that occurs that when your brain engages your hands and your hands engage on the paper and you write down things which are important to you, there's a magical process of connection to the goal rather than using technology. Make sense? And I can tell you the power of a written goal. Why written goals? Writing crystallizes thought. Thought motivates action. Writing helps you organise your priorities. Sometimes, do I spend time with my kids because it's his birthday, or do I go to a Herbalife event? What do I do? What do I do? If you've got a written goal or written goals which are important to you, it's easier to make decisions. It could be the best of a couple of bad choices or the best of a couple of good choices. Written goals help you stay focused. Written goals build a bank of successes which help you develop self-esteem. There are some people who achieve a lot but don't feel successful because they haven't tracked their successes. They haven't got a bank of successes to draw upon. Success is the progressive realization, I'm going to talk of philosophy now, the progressive realization of worthwhile predetermined personal goals. I said to you before, and it's a challenge, success is the beginning, not the end. Most of us, and I really ask you to buy into this, most of us see success as an end game. We work towards something, we get that, and then we're going to be successful. Who in the room is Active World Team? Just Active World Team or above. Before you got to Active World Team, was that a goal? Was that something that you're really striving towards? And when you got Active World Team, how did you feel? 10 seconds. Okay. Get Team. You got to Get Team. And when you got to Get Team, wasn't that the most unbelievable thing? For about 3 seconds. Hang on, I thought that when I got there, I'd feel successful. How come I didn't feel successful? Millionaire Team. You got to Millionaire Team. It's going to be unbelievable. Oh, geez. Somebody's conned me here. I thought that when I got there, it was all going to be great. Let me tell you something. What happens is every time you see success, this is a very powerful thing. Every time you see success as an achievement, and you get the achievement, and you don't stay happy for long, it really contaminates your forward success mechanism. I thought when I got there I was going to be more successful, but I'd feel great. When I got there and I didn't feel great, I said, what's the use anyway? I don't want to keep working on stuff. I'm just going to, nothing much changes. When you see success as an end result, it almost affirms that you're a failure until you get there. I'll be successful, I'll be successful, I'll be successful, I'll be successful, which means I'm a failure, which means I'm a failure. So what we have is this big goal in our self-image today is that of a failure, in theory. Therefore, several things happen. Either I never move towards that, or I have to pay an inordinate price to get there. A too high a price. And so we pay a price, hard, got to pay the price, got to, let's get out the whips and beat the hell out of ourselves. Got to, it's a big price. And that's when you hear people say, look, I'll take a back seat. I'll take a back step. What do you mean back step? Next step, what? Life? I've just got to, pace myself a little bit. It's too demanding. Blah 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 blah. Whatever it is. Does it make sense? Got to readjust my priorities. No, all that's happening is you see yourself as a failure. So what you're doing is adjusting your activity to suit your self-image. It's confrontational for a lot of you, I know that. I will tell you now, the second you say, I'm going to Get Team, I am Get Team, I am Millionaire Team, I am President Team, I'm Chairman, I am successful today, because success is the progressive realization of worthwhile, predetermined, personal goals. Progressive realization, so every day is a journey. It's very confrontational, this, by the way. In other words, you might have had a screwed up year. It's been the screwiest, crappiest year you've ever had. You can choose today to be successful. Today, this day, by having the next step clearly defined, and on a daily basis, working on each of these towards that. Makes sense, guys? See, if your self-image is that's what I want, that's where I am, it's too hot, it's a pain in the ass is what it is. It's too freaking hard. Stuff goes, it's horrible. But I'm successful today. It happens to be that the only reason to have goals is to make it easier to feel successful each day. And this is the magic. When you feel successful each day, you attract circumstances which support the achievement of the goal. I see myself successful. Now, it's very easy to see yourself successful in your life. Let me clear you. If you're in a normal business, this is what you've got. You've got two promises. You've got a promise of lack of health and a promise of financial challenges. This is your promise, I guarantee you. I've dealt with people in business all my life. I can tell you, it's almost a guarantee. If you're in business, you're going to get unhealthy and you're going to lose out financially. Somebody's going to stab you in the neck. If you're working for a boss, at some stage, you're going to hate each other. How many times you hear somebody say, look, I've been working for somebody, look, and you get fired. Look, I was wanting to leave 5 years ago. You know that thing? So you worked for a prick for 5 years. Sorry, worked with somebody you didn't like for 5 years. You're happy with it? Okay, why didn't we do it 5 years ago? Do you not accept personal responsibility? I'm saying to you guys right now that if you see yourself as successful today, you will magnetize circumstances which affirm the condition you see yourself in. Is this making sense, guys? Is it not making sense? You want me to say it in a different way? Why is it? You often hear this thing. Somebody who's been very wealthy, they lose their money, and 2 years later they're wealthy. They saw themselves as wealthy. Their self-image was one of wealth, not one of poverty. I'm going to tell you guys, and I talk a lot about money, as you know. I can tell you, I've been rich and I've been poor. On balance, which is better? And if you're not there yet, just give it a shot. It's okay. Well, give it a shot, then make the decision. Does that make sense? Right? Because the money's not everything. How come you've never had much? Well, have some, then give me that thought. You got the message? See, here, this is what happens. If you see yourself as successful already, you see it as a journey, all of a sudden, you manifest circumstances. Like, I see myself successful physically today. And I'm lucky because all around me are circumstances which support that. 104 is the goal. I want to ski at Aspen, Colorado, my 100th birthday. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. I want to ski. I see it, I visualize it, it's clear here. But I'm seeing myself as successful every day because I'm feeling better every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. I'm feeling better. Now, for me, that's a bit easier because I've done so little exercise for so long. So I'm seeing lots of successes each day. Does it make sense? For some of you guys who are very physically healthy, you wouldn't have that feeling each day that maybe I'm getting. So I'm looking forward to doing exercise, which I've never looked forward to in my entire life, but I'm looking forward to it because it's part of the philosophy. See? Okay, clear? This is all making sense here. So, if your philosophy and the vision that you have, the vision is whatever it is. I'm saying financial freedom is the vision. Being in a situation of doing what you want to do because you want to do it, not because you have to. Royalty income gives you freedom. Being in a business which is growing, in an industry which is growing, and a company which is growing, it encompasses all of these areas. Does this make sense? Like if you could be selling motor cars or in financial planning or in real estate, you don't have to be good in most of these things. You can be an absolute dropkick in all of these things. In our business, you've got to be good at all of those things if you want to become extraordinarily high, an extraordinarily high achiever. So this is the point I'm getting at. I have a philosophy. The philosophy to me, for example, is I want to be 104. That sort of is the goal. No, it's not. It's a philosophy. Really, it's like a goal. It's philosophy. Healthy 104-year-old, that'd be cool. It means you've got to have a lot of things going for you to be able to handle that. You don't want to be an old decrepit old bastard over 40. You want to be alive and dynamic and whatever else you can do. So that's where I am. I've got goals along the way The goals are purely, this is the key, the goals are purely stepping stones on the road of your mission. I wake up in the morning, my mission is what I'm focusing on. The goals is also what I'm focusing on, but the goals don't motivate you. The mission motivates you. All the goals do is they're sort of measuring steps along the way. Does that make sense? Okay, done that. Okay, got the active world team, got the active world team, got the team 2.5, steps. It's no big deal because my mission is step, that's my mission. One of the real challenges is that most of us are afraid of failure. We are conditioned to think that we have to achieve and succeed at everything we do. Have successes, many successes. Those single guys, you know, when you go out, you're at a club, bar, whatever, you see the best looking girl there, why don't you go straight up and say, hi, babe, and whatever crap comes out of you? Why don't you?
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection. Why do you get drunk and then you say, well, she wasn't that good looking anyway? And then the weedy little jerk comes up and next minute you see them walking out together. He must have a lot of money. Yeah, but I'm not sure if women experience this fear of rejection. Blokes absolutely suffer the fear of rejection in that one area. I think it's a good example, isn't it? Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of having our egos hurt where it hurts the most, our phony ego, our phony pride. That manifests into much of our business as well, because all day long, I can tell you, somebody gets involved in our business, they've lost weight, they've gotten great results, they've come along to a meeting, they've decided to do the business, they do their 1,000 volume, you've got they're registered, they've got the ultimate program, 20 goals, we've got a questionnaire, all sorted out. They've got their 1,000 volume, we've got the business launch next Saturday, and we're going to have 23 people at the business launch, maybe we think 8 or 10 will turn up. And by Friday or Thursday, the guy comes up and says, listen, have you got any Facebook ads that I can run? Well, what flyers are you using? What happened? He just got rejected by his best mate, his mother, his sister and uncle. And by after he's had about 5 or 6 rejections, in most cases, he's out. Now, he may still stay in Herbalife and achieve stuff, but he's psychologically out. So the key here, I don't know how I got over this one, the key here is to have a set of words so that you don't actually get rejected. But I'm going to say this to you, this is how you do it, we need to kiss a lot of frogs before we find a prince. Got a little frog here, just a little frog. In terms of all things we do, you've got to kiss a lot of frogs to find the princess. That's in terms of everything. I'll give you an example. My 25-year-old decided, he came out of school, decided to do university, decided to do law, and they came out of law with distinctions and has not practiced one day of law. We were talking about it yesterday. The other one, younger, learned, was observed, comes out of school, did okay, and he's gonna cruise around for a year. I'm really happy with that. I said to him yesterday, I said, go and make as many screw-ups, as many mistakes as you can make, do as much as you can do, because by simple deduction, you'll arrive at the things you want to do. Now, what I want to do is go and experience a whole bunch of crap so he comes and joins me in the business. I really want. That's my hidden agenda. And I've got to work with other people to do my bidding for me, Mark. You don't listen to this old man. You've got to find a way to achieve it all. So what I'm saying here, guys, is if it comes to physical development, that's the vision. You've got to do a lot of stuff. I've got to get healthy. Well, I'm going to do an hour of gym every day. You are going to fail. You ain't going to do that. Do something. Well, a couple of shakes is better than nothing. No, I want to get on a really good diet and I'll start on the 5th of January. No, you won't. Because your discipline will be sabotaged by your philosophy. You understand where I'm coming from here? I'll just talk about philosophy for a second. if your philosophy is that of being an overweight person, that's what you see yourself as, and or somebody not making a lot of money, or not succeeding, or not being dynamic, not achieving, whatever it is, if that's your philosophy, that's your self-image, which has been born through a lot of conditioning, through exposure, through 30, 40 years of conditioning, that's how you see it, that's the way you see yourself within your world. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I can tell you, philosophy will sabotage your discipline. Every time. It's like the guy who has been a philanderer. He's played the field a lot, decides to get married, makes those absolute vows, together, faithful to death do us part, unless he changes his philosophy, his discipline of being the good guy will not last. Give an example. Physically, I used to joke. I bought 3 gym memberships in my life, and I've been to gym 3 times. One of those was to a party. Ha, ha, ha. It was very funny. No, it wasn't. Because all around me, all these guys who are very physically focused. The only way to change your philosophy is through association. You cannot do it in isolation, guys. I'm off the track here. I'll come back to that in a minute. So here, what you've got to do is get your philosophy very clear. Kiss a lot of frogs. Fast. Kiss as many frogs as you can. Fast. Because every time you keep kissing the same damn frog, if the frog does not turn into a prince, if it doesn't show a sign of princedom, it's probably a bloody frog. Do you understand? But some of you have got people in your business that you keep kissing and they're frogs, and if you keep kissing them, you're going to end up with warts on your mouth. I've seen that happen. Some of you are in situations where you keep flogging a dead horse in terms of it's time to not do that anymore. Where did I read this? In fact, I was watching Jason Bourne last night, and there's a statement. And how's that worked for you so far? When somebody comes in and says, well, "This is how I'm a vegetarian, and I'm a vegan. I can't take these products." And how's being a vegan worked for you so far, Porky? Is that working for you? As an example. How is, what I always do, I always talk to my wife about everything. Did you really discuss and plan with your wife to be in the financial situation you're actually in now? So maybe you should stand up and be counted and make some decisions. Why not try that on for size? Because whatever you've been doing so far, how has that worked for you? Just okay, guys, I know this is confrontational to some of us. It's confrontational to me too, because this is big changes that I have to make in accordance with my philosophy. Make sense? So, got the message? You just got to try a lot of stuff. If that doesn't work, keep trying. Keep trying with people, with circumstances, better to have try a lot of things, and by sheer, by sheer elimination to work out what you really want to do. I've had people waiting for years and years and years and years and years, waiting for the inspiration to move forward. And then one day you wake up old. Do you know the magic of our business? And this is the key. The magic of our business is you can change the business to suit you. I think Mark said it in the meeting the other day. You can invest who you are, what you are, and what you know into the smartest business on earth. I've had people say to me, look, I'm not that interested in nutrition. I said, so? Look, my interest in nutrition was that I had lettuce on my McDonald's instead of cheese when I first got involved. Do you understand? It just happened to be a magic product. Remember, we're a personal development, royalty-driven business with a great product, great marketing plan, extraordinary company attached to it. So, final philosophy, and we're going to go to break. One of the first things you're going to need to do mechanically now, a few mechanics, is you're going to need to make sure you get a good journal. I like this journal because I travel a lot. It fits within my bag. It's big enough. Some of them are too small, but this one, I can't put the pages out, so I'm mindful of what I put in there. I've got another manual where I just write down just jazz, but here, I'm saying if you haven't got one, get one today. Don't go home on the way, get to a stationery store, get to wherever it is, Officeworks, wherever. But get a good journal. The Herbalife journals are great, but you only usually get the really good ones when you go to the conferences. I'm not sure if they've got these sort at corporate, but I don't think it matters that much. To me, and what I've done in my journal, notes and stuff like this is good, but this is going to be with you forever. You're going to collect these things forever. You're not going to throw them out. This becomes your story. Somebody, as you reach your twilight years, should be able to grab all of your journals and write a book about it, based on the lessons you've learned, the changes you've made, the people you've helped, the stories. I've never realised that, but I could somebody write that down to remind me later on. Please, it's really good. And really, your journals is your life. Somebody, and Lee is 87, and somebody should pick up all of his journals. From how old are you now, Lee? From 57 years. They should be able to pick up 50. Yeah. Whatever age it is. 50 journals, 50 yearly journals. Should be able to connect all those journals and say, I'm now going to write a book about Lee and his life story, his journey. Wouldn't that be a great thing to do? So within that journal, this is how I work on it, and I'm going to talk about this, and we're going to open up the questions. You're going to have a break. Within the journal, there are several tabs. For me, the first tab is goals accomplished. Now, for me, that's goals accomplished in 2017, and I'm going to continue the goals accomplished into 2018. By the way, you put the tabs in first. The second one is my goals for 2018. And they'll come up in a couple of areas. And then the third one is the journey, notes. Because I don't want to have 5 different books. I want to have my goals there, I want to have my goals accomplished. I want it all in one journal. I personally find it challenging to have too many journals. I travel a lot, so I need it to be fairly compact. Making sense? And then in the back of the journal are the dreams. So with your new distributor, your new member, your new distributor, when you ask them to write down their 20 goals, their 20 dreams, the first thing they do when they get their journal should be to transfer their 20 goals into the dream section. I put it in the back, because this is where you sort of rave on a bit. Some of the stuff you write down there is just nuts. I've seen some of your goals, and I think, man, that's nuts. We do. But I can tell you, if you've been given the ability to write down that nutty goal, you've also been given the ability to get it. You understand what I just said? We'll talk about this after the break. So there's 4 sections. 1, goals accomplished. Then the goals, then the journey, and then the dreams at the back. 2 things I'm going to cover off. Firstly, the most important thing after you've written down a few goals, the most important thing is for you to work on the things you've achieved in 2017. If I asked you to write down all the things you've screwed up in 2017, most of you would come up with a big list, wouldn't you? And then if I asked you to write down all the things you've achieved in 2017, most of you would struggle getting many things. Doesn't it stand to reason that if you've had, say, 100 failures, you've probably had 100 successes? I mean, you've made it at this point, haven't you? You're here. There are other people who aren't here. They didn't quite make it. Doesn't it stand to reason that most of us are conditioned to stop? You don't want to brag. You don't want to, all that sort of stuff. This is singly this is more important than any other component of the goal setting process. It's to write down what you've already achieved and what you've achieved, no matter how small. And it's going to be, it's going to get easier because we're talking about it. Sometimes you might have to sit down with a partner and say, okay, what do you think I've achieved in the last 12 months? What do you think I've achieved? And there'll be banter. I don't think I've achieved anything, darling. You'll get that sort of jazz, right? Is there any questions on this? This is what happens. In the olden days, you drive into a country town and there's no motorways or no road map for the country town. What do? You go to the information section, like on the side of the road, don't you? And there's a big map. What do you look for on the map? Yeah, I am here. If you can't work out where you are, you can't work out where you're going to go. So most of us are setting goals on a pretty sketchy foundation. I am saying, guys, what have you achieved physically? Can I write down one thing, which everybody should write down? You're sitting in a goal-setting workshop with George on Boxing Day. That alone makes it extraordinary. Can I tell you, this will be the biggest meeting by far being held in the Herbalife business, probably anywhere, certainly anywhere in Australia and New Zealand, and one of the biggest anywhere in the world. This little meeting here. So that makes you already non-ordinary, extraordinary. That makes you unique. I'd be writing that down. How many people have the opportunity to sit in a one-day thought process, getting their thinking right about goal setting on Boxing Day before the end of the year? That alone is power. Excuse me. So, the goals accomplished is critical. The second thing, before we go to break, I want you to think about realistically what is your next Herbalife goal. Because afterwards we're going to pick on one or two people and we're going to work on obstacles, the goal, some obstacles, some solutions, some target dates, and we're all going to work with that person, help that person achieve and get it right. We're going to go to break. Before we do, questions. Any questions on what we've covered? Any disagreements? Anything you want me to amplify, clarify, elucidate? Yes.
George, age 22, you're in your picture. Were you with the team when you took over?
So was I?
With a team, or were you all by yourself?
It's a funny story. I bought the franchise out. This guy had 20 distributors in his business. He was about 40. I took over at stage I'm 21, and all but one of them resigned. So I had my team, and then the next day I had one person. I had the office and the equipment and everything set up, and programs and everything, and 20 seats, we had little workshops and stuff, and one guy. So I thought, well, I'm going to do, I never told anybody this, my life. So I start to run this workshop, and as though there are 20 people in the room, and there's one that I'm talking, as though there are 20 people in the room, 20 seats set up. And I thought, man, I'm going to visualize this, and that's what I visualized. We're going to have a break in 2 minutes, guys, so don't go to the toilet, just cross your legs, whatever. You never know, this could be the most important thing. So in this time, I visualized it at 20 people, I visualized it, I firmed it, I was pretty devastated by it. I just paid this money, it's gone. There's me, and then there's me and one guy who's pretty useless anyway. And within 90 days, I had nearly 30 distributors in my business. 30, nearly 30, I can't remember the exact number, nearly 30. It's a good question, by the way. In my mind, guys, you know, it was, I was going to pay whatever price I was going to pay. And I didn't particularly like that situation. I didn't want that to be the way it was. Those other guys, by the way, ended up in a competitive distributorship. All gone. That's excessive, right, isn't it? So, a couple more questions, guys, before we go to break. Any other quick questions? Any long questions? Yeah.
Your goals, I know your goals will change. Do you add them to the goals you've already set into your journal? Or do you make new goals for, like, say, the next year?
No, I add to them all the time. I add to them. Maybe it's clear about goals. You are in control of the goals. They're not in control of you. So halfway through the year, you may change your mind. We'll just change it. I don't like that goal anymore. Cross it out. Put in another one. You know, circumstances change. This is a dynamic situation. But again, I'm going to say, be careful what you set your mind up for that. You will surely get what you focus on is a message to your unconscious mind, and you'll manifest that. You know, like there are people who really, it's like the woman who always ends up with guys that are real jerks. You know, her self-image, her affirmation process is that all men are bastards, and that's what she keeps getting. She ends up manifesting that certain. She almost says, here she goes again. Yeah, jerk number 7. You know, we all know that situation. That's the question. Come up this, yes.
Goals and dreams. You said you've got 2
It's good, good, good. A goal is something which is sort of measurable. Like, I want to be president's team in, for example, you're a supervisor. I want to be president's team in 2018. It's just bullshit. You know, the chance of you doing that is not going to happen. They're very, very. Could you do it? Yes. Would you do it? No, probably not. Yeah. They're probably not, based on what you do today. I've had people say, I'm going to be wealthy. I look at what they've done in the last week. No, you're not. You've done nothing. You look at, you know, you tell me you want to be president. You may do not. I can see what you're prepared to do. You're prepared to do nothing. Don't do that bullshit. Your dreams should not. Everybody should look at your dreams and say, you are dreaming, baby. But at your goals, they've got to be fit. 12 months, got to be pretty realistic. They've got to be within your frame of reference. Okay? That's why I put the dreams at the back. It's sort of arrayed. That's when you're tired at night. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'll share some of mine. Where the 20 goals. You know, I've heard people say to me, I've seen it. They've written down goals that they've got to be a Founders Circle member to achieve. And then I asked them, can you make it to the meeting on Saturday? I mean, I've got people who are not in this room who told me they're going to be president's team in 2018 and they're not here and said they would be. They have the chance of a dying duck in a hailstorm to get the president's team in the next 12 months based on what they've already shown me they're not prepared to do. And when I phone them up this afternoon, I'll hear the excuses. And they'll explain them. There'll be at least a 3-minute excuse. When I say, you couldn't just give me a 10-second excuse. You know, you're just a loser. That's not a permanent affliction. You can change that if you want to, but the chance of them change is not very high. Very interesting. You know, this is how you work. How you're going to work with people in accordance with what they do, about what they said they want. People often ask me, how do you work with somebody? Well, you work with people in accordance with what they do, about what they say they want. Good way to work out who you're going to work with is in 2018. Keep coming, guys. We've got a few minutes for some questions. I can't hear you. Take in.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Mate, when I've got an itchy nose, it's a major project. Look. It takes ages. Turn inside. Let me look at the profile.
What was your first goal and how long did it take?
First goal was to be a millionaire. First goal I ever remember, I wanted to be a millionaire. And I was nearly there at 22 and lost it. I've made and lost it a whole stack of times. Interestingly enough, one of my first goals, it's an interesting story. It's not that interesting, it's interesting. There was a house that was in Adelaide, in Green Hill, the end of Green Hill Road, up in the hills. It was like a white castle sort of a house. And I was driving past there one day and I took a photograph of the house. I put it on my dream board. And we all have dream boards, we'll talk about later on. And I lost that dream board for years and years and years and years. You know, you get a box or whatever. When I first moved to Melbourne, I hadn't thought about it at all, by the way. And I found the dream board. And this photograph that I took was of a white castle-looking property. Guess what I was living in? A white castle-looking property. It was, I believe, Barker's Road. It wasn't on a hill, but it was, you know, be careful what you set your mind on. For that, you will surely get. So my first goal was to be a millionaire. You know, one that I want to be a millionaire. I wanted to be a millionaire in advertising. But that was, in my thought, it was going to take years. By the way, whatever millionaire means, today, you know, living out the park, you know, there's somebody that's lived there for 10 years, paid, 200,000 for a house or 200,000 now, they're now millionaires. So being a millionaire is not that big a deal. Yes.
Am I correct in saying that you have 6 tabs in your book, your journal?
Say again?
Am I correct in saying you have 6 tabs in your journal?
No, I don't. No, 6 tabs are the different areas. The way again, this is for me, I'm telling you what you should do. You should have 6 tabs and goals in each of those areas. For me, I've been doing it so long, it sort of breaks up into 6 tabs anyway. Yeah. My most important goals relate to physically, family, and business. And they're where most of the goals are. But in the beginning, you've got to get in the habit of doing those 6 areas. If you don't, by the way, what ends up happening, if you have one that you're not working on, or at least know where you stand, it's like the cycle when you're a kid, somebody kicks some of the spokes out of your bike, and it becomes a bit of a rough ride. You don't need to have goals in it, but you've got to know what you're prepared to do or not do in those Well, guys, you've got me for, we got, before we go to break, we've got a few minutes. On the call here, they're itching to ask questions, but they're all muted. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. So far, what are some of the things you've learned so far? Because we're now going to practical. What have you learned so far?
Successes at the beginning. Difference between goals and dreams. Clearly defining goals.
By the way, this is how you clearly define them. You ready for this? You get your pen and you start to write. A lot of people, they wait before they crystallize, before they start to write. It's never going to happen. Writing crystallizes thought. Writing it down. You might spend pages and pages. And I'm going to share this with you when you're not focused, when things are bothering you, when things aren't going right. I write down. It's better to get it out of there onto there rather than leave it up there. I'm not sure if that's psychologically true, but that's certainly. You understand? Like, you can sit down here, I can sit down and talk to my friends about it. You don't want to do that. They're all subjective. Your friend becomes your journal. Well, journal, I'm really depressed and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. Things aren't working out. Blah, blah, blah. I've got no idea. I'm totally fogged out. I can't not clear and things aren't working. Blah, 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 blah. And you'll find that things get clear. Just by documenting, things will get clear. Yep, a couple more.
Philosophy of yourself.
And you know how you define your philosophy? You define your philosophy by making a lot of mistakes. Like, it's by working out what you don't want to do and what you don't want and who you don't want to be. By doing all those wrong things to define who you want to hang out with, where you want to be, what you want to do. I've got to tell you this, the magic of this business is you don't have to make those mistakes. You don't have to make anywhere near the mistakes that you normally need to make in a normal business. In a normal business, you can go great, like this stuff that we're talking about today, you go and apply this to a normal job. You can do it, it's just hard. I personally would find it hard. Here, what you're learning today can be applied today with a result of some sort today.
I am non-ordinary.
Say again?
I am non-ordinary.
I love that. I'm not an ordinary person. So therefore, you want an extraordinary result, you've got to do non-ordinary things. And if you want an extraordinary and non-ordinary, a result that is not based on the average, you can't do things average. You can't think average. You can't be average. You can't dress average. You can't look average. You can't talk average. You can't eat average. Do you understand? You can't, it's like the guy that takes one shake every 2 days and wonders why he's not losing any weight. You don't be doing that anymore. I can tell you, guys, everybody here could move to the next pin by the time we're in Houston in July. If you actually apply what I'm saying, I'm going to. I am anyway. Do you understand? I want the next couple of pins before July in Houston. And that means I've got to do a lot of things. I've got to be more jubilant because I've got to work harder. I've got to have more energy. I can't be eating crap food. I've got to be eating good food. We were talking about that this morning. I need to have a very clear and defined plan with Bianca, for example, because she's got a different agenda to me. I can't get caught up in her agenda. She can't get caught up in my agenda. That's going to take, like family one that I've got up there. Does it make sense? This is good, and if this one's good, this is going great. The social one, I've got to do some work on. But these physical and family are the ones that I've got to really focus on in order for me to achieve. Because I've made so many mistakes in so many ways that it's almost like you don't have to keep making it the rest of your life. You've had enough. Made enough mistakes. Couple questions, guys, because I can tell you when you walk out of here, if you do what I'm asking you to do, everybody here will have. They'll be getting the Inhale President's team by July when we're in Houston. Any more questions? Yes.
Do you share your goals with all your goals?
No, you don't. some of your goals are really personal. You know, some of them are really personal. It's a bit difficult with a partner because you can't, you know, if you lock it up, you know, she's going to think you've got, you know, whatever stuff. You know, quite honestly, you know, for me, it's been a real habit, a real challenging thing because I'm a fairly private sort of a person. You know? So, you know what I do consciously? I leave my journal hanging around the place. You know, sort of just leave it hanging around, like, you know, but nobody else needs to know your goals apart from the people that you care about the most. Okay. You know, this is progressive realisation of worthwhile predetermined personal goals. I can tell you other people are going to can your goals. Some of them are people that you love. Well, it's just the way life is. You know, just don't get too concerned about that. You know, you probably can some of their goals. It's not big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Remember? Just keep kissing the frog. You know? Don't try and make the frog into a prince. Some of you are married to frogs, by the way. Next. You know, just don't keep kissing. No. Love is unconditional. Yes, yeah, question. Yes.
Have you ever set yourself some goals that you had to reassess, adjust, or completely eliminate because they just haven't been able to come to fruition?
Like every month. I want to be a professional surfer. You know, I still have a slight chance I might be able to get into the Masters, but the price that I'll have to pay to get into the Masters longboard competition is probably not worth the price that I have to pay. Remember, priorities, values. You know, sometimes you just got to. You know, there are people that, from a physical perspective, I'm probably not going to make it to the Masters. So by the time I've got good enough, spent enough time in the water to get good enough, I'm probably not going to make it. Do all the time.
So you just base it on the price you have to pay.
Yeah, see, when you're writing anything down, if you try and sort this crap out in your brain, it's always going to be confusing. This is why I will tell you now, you are in control of the target date. There's not one person here in this room who could not be president's team in this business earning minimum $30,000 a month in blocking. Not one person. But I don't want to earn $30,000. Crap! It was in the world. You've got choices. I just want to build orphanages. I just want to be happy. Listen, it's hard to be happy when you're poor. I'm not saying it's impossible. I work a lot in the Philippines. They're the happiest nation on earth. As the floods and the tsunamis and the earthquakes are raining, the biggest challenge is poverty. I can tell you, the people who pay the greatest price for wealthy people creating global warming are the poor. We can do something about that. So, I'll talk about that all day, but that's another story. We'll do a whole day on that one day. Do you hear what I just said? The people who pay the greatest price of the wealthy creating the problem of global warming are the poor people. The people in poverty already. They're the ones who pay the price for our extravagance. We can do something about that. In this business, we can do something about that. Okay.
If you set yearly goals, you've got 2017 goals, and you haven't achieved all of them, how do you not let that affect your self-image next year?
Just write it down. Just draw a line across the front. Next. Screw that up. Next. Here's a way to eliminate a cloud from your life. You ready? See it gone, and it is. You are in control. See, it's not that you haven't achieved them, just the target date's wrong. Just set another target date. Keep the same goal, set the target date. The target date doesn't control you, you control it. So sometimes you've got to kiss a lot of frogs, you've got to have a lot of failures, a lot of mistakes. Big deal. Listen, I've nearly drowned twice. I've had 2 serious car accidents, and I've been knifed, been in more fights, and had more failures in Herbalife than all of that put together. So far, no problems. I can tell you, the more failures, the more screw-ups, the more mistakes, the quicker you have them, the quicker you're going to achieve all the stuff you want to achieve. I hope that makes sense to you. Just remember, you control the target date. The target date doesn't control you. Just change the target date. I can tell you, I've had a goal to become chairman's club now for 14 years. Still not there. It's okay. I'm living pretty good. Okay. Hopefully it's going to happen this year. See, do you understand? Listen, I had a goal to have a Mercedes convertible when I was 18. I didn't get it until I was 65. Do you understand? There's some nice cars in between. But I never had my dream car, which if I looked at the car, then I said, oh, then not car, it's a crappy car. But so, do you understand? You don't in control the target. You're in control, not the goal target that doesn't control you. What I say is draw a line across the fence, then it, boom, cloud gone, next. Okay. Guys, we're going to have a 5-minute break. And try and make it, we've got the bathroom. He was first at the bathroom, so go. We don't want any mistakes. 5-minute break. I'm assuming there's no car. There won't be any tickets. Don't move your cars. So be back as quick as you can. We're going to work on exactly the steps.
但是他一直下来讲，让你很羡慕。关键是我可不要啊！我知道呀，只要让他听话。知道。你过来呀！他先走啊！我真的知道了，我知道呀。我勾塞。悄悄的走啊，悄悄的走啊，你悄悄的走，然后让你走，那一秒就行。我也觉得是，一秒就看到你走了。有个下雨了，那下雨藏在上面，感觉好遥远啊。连线的加拿大和还有，其实感受我也想上厕所来着，结果默默的看了下队伍，还是回过才去了。今天晚上好看哪里？等我一下，我下去啊。你在后门还是前门？我下去了。
Run along, guys.
sorry.
背景，嘴巴在这样跳，这样的话是最瘦的状态。然后把香气反过来照，这样镜头朝下的。好，是这样。那我就你今天晚上第一晚做的挺好的，跟我来吗？当时买的，当时那我就拿到照片了。虽然我们
Grab seat, guys. Grab seat. While we're waiting for the toilets and stuff like that, there's been a couple of people ask questions. And one of them I'll address first. No, we're not starting yet. We're just getting out of Jen. We're going to talk about you, so stay out there. Is that you saying that, Franz?
No.
Talk. One of the questions was, family, especially on Christmas Day, you're all drinking your aloe, and they're holding into their beers and pies and whatever eating, and you're focused on health. And I can tell you now, very few of you will have families that support you. Very few. And we'd like them to support us, wouldn't we? Many of you are married to people, living with people who don't support you. And let me put it clear, all it is resistance to change. It's all it is. It's like somebody who's had a woman who's had long hair, and she gets a haircut, and for a while it seems strange until it's normal. There's a bloke in this room who had the dreadlocks, and he got all the dreadlocks cut, and it seems strange. Now I couldn't imagine him with the dreadlocks. He's such a good-looking dude. It would be strange. There's a hardware store just near where I live with Donnie. It's a little Greek family. They've got this hardware store in Albert Park. And I can tell you, walk into that store, and it is a complete freaking mess. There is shit everywhere. It's the most confusing little boxes of crap. It's a little store. And Tony and his sister and his dad and his mum run this store. Very successful little hardware store. Whatever you want, they can find it. I'd like a 6-inch. Tonight, we're going to go there. And we're going to strip the store out. We're going to put shelving in it. We're going to put a little computer code in that store. And tomorrow morning, Tony and the gang are going to wake up. We're going to walk into the store. And I can tell you, one of two things will happen. Either they'll have a heart attack, 3 things, or eventually they'll get used to that new way, or they will eventually rearrange everything back to the state of disorganisation, which is their organisation. Okay? So I can tell you what you need to do. You need to stand your ground. Success is the progressive realisation of worthwhile predetermined personal goals. Your kids aren't going to they're not going to look after you in your old age. We're not in Asia, we're in Australia. Usually your partner, they'll eventually come around, or not. Two of my best friends, I've been trying to get on the price for years. I've got other people after all these years. You're still selling Herbalife? Yeah, I'm selling Herbalife. Selling me shakes. I've got to, with those sarcastic, I'd say I've got all sarcastic. Yeah, I couldn't get a proper job. That's all I can get is to sell Herbalife, selling shakes. Don't expect people to support you. That wasn't the plan. Where does it say your family have to support you? The plan's not anywhere. I'm saying, stand your ground. One of several things will happen. Eventually, they'll either come around or they won't. But I know, and there's a guy, my personal trainer, his wife still shit cans Herbalife. And did she take break? Skins, no shakes. They're healthy. Selwyn looks fantastic, gets great results. There's people on products, but everywhere around sell with an incredible results, including his result on the products. Yet wife doesn't, don't expect. Where's the book that says your wife or partner has to support you? You'd like them to love you, but even that's a bit of that's sometimes a bit of a challenge as well. How do you stay on message? Just stay on. I'm going to say this to you. My attitude is people aren't going to. Who's going to look after you in your old age? You've got to look after yourself, man. We're born alone. We die alone. I'm not a man. I often hear this from blokes saying, "Oh, my wife didn't want me to keep doing." Oh, the beige face comes out again. Really. What I really want to say, I can't say in this room. Does it make sense? So I'm not sure I'm answering your question. But how do you convince your family you don't? You can be fantastically healthy. Every time you put something on Facebook about health and nutrition, and you think, oh, health and nutrition, and you suck it on a can of Coke or whatever. Yeah. Does everybody, does Mark Hughes' son use the product? I don't know. Cool. I don't know. Who knows? And I use this as an example. Wolf of Wall Street. Who likes that movie? I didn't like it at all. Evidently, they didn't care that I didn't like it. They've done pretty good. So, does that answer the question? Anybody, does that sort of answer that question? If we like everybody, why don't they? We can be perfectly healthy. If they don't support us, just like that. It's just the way it is. Be fascinating. There were some other questions thrown at me during the break, and I've asked them to bring those questions up. Just some other questions. Yes.
If your next step on the marketing plan doesn't excite you as much as what should you do in that case?
The question was, Active World Team doesn't excite you. What gets you excited? Whatever it is, it doesn't make any difference. What I think is logical and what you think is logical is that's got nothing to do with anything. I can tell you now, when I got into the business, getting to president as quickly as I did was not logical. But they didn't know what was in my brain, did they? Nobody knows anything. So I'm saying whatever gets your juices going, go for it. Whatever that is, I don't care what it is. I'm just saying the magic of Herbalife, if you use that is the hub of the spokes of the wheel. Usually you'll end up with goals in all those areas, some of them not so big. But I'm saying if Millionaire Team is what gets you excited, let me clue you in. I'll give you the number. You need 45 to 55 supervisors in your 3 levels attending meetings, 2 meetings a week, 2 meetings a month, and a couple of meetings before the middle of every year. So that's an interesting question. If you're not doing that, you've got a chance and hope and hell of ever getting an organisation to do that. So everything we are about is leadership by example, not mentorship. You hear this mentor thing all the time. I've had people say to me, George, would you mentor me? I say, no, man, I'm never going to probably sort that own pretty life, let alone yours. All we can do is be a good example. That's all you can expect. Be the best example. So, again, the question, I want to be a Millionaire Team. I'm telling you how to be a Millionaire Team. You need 45 to 55 supervisors in your 3 levels attending 2 meetings a week, 2 meetings a month, and a couple of meetings before the middle of the year, every international events every year. That'll take you anywhere from 3 to 5 years to do that. Does that make sense? So work with people in accordance with what they do about what they say they want, then look at yourself. In order to get the Millionaire Team, quickly, you need to be talking to 10 people a day about the products of the business. That's not 50 on Friday. It's an apple a day that keeps the doctor away, not 7 apples on Sunday. Okay, does that answer the question? Other questions? Yes.
I've got a new member who doesn't find the vehicle to be far away.
I get that. So, let me clear you guys. Kylie's not expecting this answer, by the way. When I first got into Herbalife, I did not have a motor car. And then eventually I got a motor car, but I didn't have a license. I can tell you now, the challenge that we often face is we often make excuses for our small group of distributors that we shouldn't make. I'm telling you, no car, no problem. No initiative, big problem. I will tell you now that if her goals are important enough, she will find a solution. The challenge that we all face is we tend to keep wanting to give our people solutions. And I can tell you now, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Again, I know that's not the answer Kylie was expecting, but I can tell you now, that is the right answer. Again, I haven't got a car, can't make it to meetings. Okay, no problem. What should I do? Shoot, I don't know, probably get to meetings. I have no idea. How would you do it? Do you understand? I don't know. I can tell you there are people in this room who didn't have enough money to put gasoline in their car to get to meetings and somehow found a way to get there. And the degree to which you grow personally will determine your income speed by which you earn. I hope that answers the question, Kylie. So I don't answer that question. I say that's what you've got to do. How do you do it? I don't know. What would you do? What I did was I recruited people straight away. I started to recruit people straight away who had motor cars. So we went into meetings in their cars and I'd sit there and say, look, you can drive and I'll train you as we drive. And we did appointments around the place. We did a lot of one-on-one appointments. So we'd go to those appointments in their car. And I'd say straight away, I recruited people immediately who had motor cars. You understand? And so they would come and pick me up. The car's being serviced or whatever the hell crap I told them. And they would go in their car and I'd sit there as a passenger and I would train them. And then I got a motor car and then I lost the license. So they would then drive my car. So I'd say, my car that I got a Mercedes. I was nearly president's team before I either had a car or was able to drive. So it's a great advantage. It's a great, you talk about, I couldn't train anybody. I had to just show people what I did. It was a great advantage. Amazing, isn't it? Every problem is a good thing. I was training people by showing them what to do because I didn't have a motor car and I didn't have a license. So they would sit in the car and then they would drive because I had a license. You can drive my nice car. Just a bit of affirmation, visualization for you. And I'll sit here and I'll tell you what to do. So the answer, recruit. Let me move on. Does that answer the question? A couple more quick questions. Yes.
Just looking before, you said flyers didn't work for you because you didn't do enough.
Flyers. Look, flyers never worked for me. I just never did enough. It's a simple. A lot of people do like 100 flyers and think, well, that was enough. Blake Morgan, somebody asked Blake Morgan a question on a call a long time ago. They said, Blake, it's Chairman's Club member. They said, Blake, how many flyers should you do? He said, just enough. How many is that? He said, let me tell you how many flyers you do, just enough. This is one way of doing the business. I mean, our business is not a flyer-driven business, by the way. Our style of business. But do people do flyers? Yes. Bianca does flyers, and her method of doing flyers is a form of discipline for her. It's like I am disciplined by doing flyers. Are the flyers getting much results? No. But what's happening is creating a discipline for her, which manifests in results in other areas. So she does about an hour flyers every single day. How many flyers she do in that hour? Just enough. But you understand what I've just said? It's a discipline. If your phone is not ringing, if you're not getting inquiries, you need to be connected with about 10 people in some form. If you're not doing flyers, then you need to go and eyeball people. You need to be connected with a bunch of people every day. And I'm saying to you guys, if you are seriously interested in doing great, you truly have to overcompensate. And you don't have to do this forever. When you've ever seen a baseballer practicing before they go out to hit? What do? They swing the bat. How many bats do they swing? Any baseballers in the room? Yeah, it's a bunch of bats in it. How many is it? 4 or 5? 3 or 4 bats? How many bats they can hold in their hand? They're swinging a lot of bats. Now, they don't have to have, when they line up, hit the ball, they haven't got 4 bats. If I get one of these bats to go hit that damn ball. So they but when they go to bat, they have one bat. In surfing, when I sit in surfing, I come to Bells Beach, surfing in Australia, 3-4 foot wave. I come to Bells Beach to surf a 6, 7, 8 foot wave before a competition, so I go back and just surf a little one. So I'm saying that whatever you have to do, you do it big to create an energy, to create a focus, to create a momentum. Don't think you're going to lose a lot of weight taking one shake a day. It just won't work. It is not realistic. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I don't care what you don't want to do. It makes no difference. Do something. Do enough of something. You know, some people, we have one guy who will be a president's team, possibly in 2018, who knocks on doors. Now, I would rather stick pins in my eyes than do that. But what I do is the one thing I can do, which is take a lot of product and I take it very obviously. I'll drink the aloe. Wherever I go, I'm always open for business. I'm always dressed, expecting that I'll get an inquiry. And I often dress in Hawaiian stuff. I just back from holiday. Look, my life is a holiday. What do you do? Let me tell you. Yeah, that's a nice watch. Yeah, it's my business. Well, you work for Disney. No, I'm in the business where I can wear one of these stupid watches and it doesn't really matter. Anything, you understand? You always got a suntan. I don't have so much of that now. You just always have a suntan. Why? People want to ask you back on holiday. You're on holiday. I'm not. It's a holiday. It's fantastic what I do. Just saying. It's just making sense, by the way. If your goal is clear, you'll do whatever you've got to do. I have people say to me, look, it's not working for me. How many people are you talking to each day? If you're talking to one or two, it's not going to work. And at this time of the year, how do you talk to more people? I've got a tape that's called The Art of How to Prospect Away the President's Team. All the answers are on that call. If you haven't got that, your upline will have that and I'll get that to you. How to Prospect Away the President's Team. Okay. Anyone can answer the question, please? It might seem like a non-answer, but haven't just enough. If you're going to do it for 5 hours a day, do it for 5 hours a day. No? What the hell else are you going to do? What kind of sleep? Sleep less. Well, I need 8 hours. You're probably going to fail. You know, statistically, every person I know has succeeded big time in their life does not sleep 8 hours a day. Average people, you know, sleep 8 hours a day. You don't need 8 hours sleep. You're young, don't have to go take many minutes. Yeah, but you need 8 hours. Yeah, no, you don't. It's not forever. You only got to do this for a pocket of time. You can nail this stuff. You can be financially independent the rest of your life if you work for us for 2 years. Work is defined as talking to people. If you are if you're comfortable, you're probably going to fail. If you're comfortable, you're probably going to fail. Being uncomfortable means you're suffering the risk of rejection. You are connecting with people who don't want to listen to you about something they don't want to hear about. So everybody loves Herbalife. No, they don't. Their perception of Herbalife is not what our perception is. So we've got to find ways to get them to understand. They're not interested in Herbalife. They don't even know Herbalife. If they're not impressed with Herbalife, let me tell you, they fit into one of two categories. They're either ill-informed or they're unintelligent. Doesn't mean they have to buy or sign, but I can tell you, if you're not impressed, if somebody's not impressed with Herbalife, not really impressed with Herbalife, the more you study the science of this business, the more impressed you will be. Okay, let's pick a goal. Clear? Any other questions? Probably got more. Let's pick a goal. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the obstacles, but this is what I've learned. Set in your mind a goal. Who has a goal to be, who's say Active World Team has a goal to be Get Team? I'm going to pick on someone. I'm going to pick on Costas. Okay, Costas. Okay, okay with that? So Costas has got a goal. I'm just going to put here, Get Team. I know you can't see this guy's here, but that says Get Team, Global Expansion Team. Global Expansion Team is a step in the marketing plan where you're earning somewhere between 5 and 15,000 a month in royalty income. Whatever is your goal, just put your mind there. Put what it is. Let's get team, millionaire team, present team, happy, happy, joy, joy, whatever it is, goal, whatever it is, just in your head, fix it in your head now, okay? This is how you work out the obstacles. Why aren't you there yet? Okay, Costas. Why aren't you there yet? Why aren't you get team yet? Oh! I wasn't expecting that one. Okay, it goes downhill from there. Come on. And by the way, I want you to think the obstacles which are holding you back, or maybe Costas. What else, Costas? That's not the only one, sure. Fear of what? Sorry? Fear of judgment. That's interesting. Okay, by the way, for yourself, what I want you to do is think about some of the obstacles standing between you and your goals as well. Really, you might be able to help Costas. So?
Not enough supervisors.
Okay, not enough supervisors. Yep.
Procrastination.
Is that Maria?
Procrastination.
Now we're finding out about you, Costas. Okay, Maria, what else?
Fear of when I get someone, I don't know what to do with them.
Okay, what do I do when I've got him? What do I do when I've got him? Again, think about what's holding you back. Yes?
Expensive.
Too expensive? Yep. Come on, guys, come on, what's holding you back?
Just not talking to enough people daily.
Not talking to enough people.
Lack of consistency.
Who said that?
Jesse.
Oh, to me, that's one of them. Yeah. Yep.
Focus.
Focus. We understand that lack of focus.
Second one, the discipline.
Lack of discipline. Did we put that down yet? Doesn't matter. Who said that? So explain that.
Like I said, some people like their life or they don't. And saying that or just stupid. They have an image of it in their head already, so they change their mind.
Okay, so don't know how to overcome objections.
Lack of time prioritization.
Who said that?
Sarah.
Sarah. Lack of time organisation. Yep. So, limiting beliefs. Lack of confidence. Okay. So, no, that's not an option. That's a possible solution. So, obstinance. Obstacles. Now they are the obstacles. Distractions. Distractions. Okay. There's probably more, yes? What have we just done? Let me ask you this question. We were talking about Costas, yes? most of those affect us in some way or another. Not all necessarily, but most of us will be affected by those, yes? Does it, yes or no? Yes, does it stand to reason that if we've isolated those obstacles and we can find a solution for those obstacles, Costas will be getting? I mean, logically, if they're the obstacles which stand between him and the achievement of getting, we've documented those obstacles that affect most of us. If we can find a solution for each of those obstacles, Costas' Get team, your millionaire team, some of your president's team, and some of you beyond. Now, we might have others. Here we go. Are we okay, guys? Because we're not going to run out of time, but we're going to roll real fast. If you and I are not making the progress we would like and are capable of, if your life isn't working out the way you want it to work out, it is because your goals are not clearly defined. This whole process is about defining your goals. A goal isn't, I want to be getting. A goal, it's just a statement. A goal is, you ready for this? The goal, the obstacle, roadblock, solution, target, aims, personal goals, progress today, affirmation, visualization, that becomes a goal. It's a process of a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to say it to you again. If you're able to isolate the goal, work out the obstacles, automatically half of the solution is already here as soon as you've isolated the obstacle, isn't it? What happens, you know, for most of us, the thing we don't see is the thing that gets us. You know, when, and if you had, I've had a bit of a rough childhood, you know, when you're in a, like, when you fight a lot, and it's like, if you ever been in a fight and there's a bunch of guys and you're outnumbered, who do you look at first? It's the big guys and little guys. Who do you look for? The biggest guy. Who's often the guy that comes in and beats you is the little guy, the guy you didn't expect. You size up the big guy thinking, well, okay, we'll sort this out, sort of. And then the little guy, you know, you're not expecting it, is the guy that you should have focused on. It's often the things you don't see that you're not conscious of, the things which hold you back. Is it making sense or not? Okay, I've been watching a lot of surfing movies over the last few days, the massive waves, and the guy takes off, and it's not the massive wave that takes him out, it's a little side wash from the jet ski, which was picking him up on the wave, that comes on, gets catapulted, jump. It's a little side wash from the jet ski, which causes a wipeout on a 40-foot wave. You understand? I'm not sure that's a good example, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to pick on some of these. I'm not going to write them down, but this is what you have to write down. What I'm saying is, before you go to bed tonight, if you don't do this, guys, I'm telling you, today's a waste of time. Some of these obstacles. I'm going to pick on time organisation as the key, as a key. You ready? Most people spread out over a long time what they could achieve in a little time. I'm not going to give you the philosophy because it's in the 9 calls. Most of you have those 9 calls. If you haven't got them, your upline will get them to you. The secret to time organisation is to know what is imperative and get into the habit of doing the things that are imperative. This is what I do every single day. Every day on my little booklet, I'll show you the booklet. That's the booklet. And my goals, just haven't finished this yet. On one side, every single day, I do this. Imperative and important. Imperative are things which will move me forward. important things which I should do, but not necessarily imperative. Every single day. I have it in that book, so as soon as the day is finished, I rip it off. Next day. I know most people won't do what I'm about to tell you to do. Historically, very few people do. If I ask you tomorrow, what's on your imperative list? Most of you won't have done it. Not being negative, I'm just telling you historically, that's what I know. This is what happens. On the imperative side, imperative, important. On the imperative side are the 5 or 6 things which you have to do in terms of the thing which is your highest priority. Every one of you here, your highest priority is talking to prospects about the business. That is your highest priority. Not about the products, not about the thing. Your highest priority is talking to prospects about the business. You may argue with me on that one, and I'm happy to deal with that. But I can tell you that every organisation in Herbalife has 2 problems. A couple of 3 problems. Not enough people, not enough key people, the people aren't working hard enough. Most of us spend most of our time trying to get our existing people working or trying to develop key people. We're trying to make a silk purse out of a pig's ear. We're trying to get the guy to lose weight who takes 1 shake every 3 days. It is easier to get more people than it is to get your existing people working better or to develop leadership. In other words, what happens, we kiss the frog, we keep kissing the frog doesn't turn into a prince, we keep kissing the frog, we end up with warts on our mouth. The trick is to keep kissing a lot of frogs. Kiss, not a frog, not a prince. Kiss, 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 those prince. What I've learned, personally, is that the way to create princes in your business is to kiss a lot of frogs and create an environment in which the frogs will turn themselves into princes. Get clear on that? I can try and work with you and work with you and work with you and work with you. Or I can go recruit a whole bunch of people. And in amongst those people, some of you will turn yourselves into princes. Princes. That's asexual. Prince, princess, prince. You'll turn yourself into princes. What I've also found, when you turn yourself into a prince, the other frogs follow suit. But when I find I'm trying to get Lee to become a prince, and he's just a frog, and I'm like trying to get Lee to become a prince, and he just wants to be a frog, and I get exhausted, I end up with warts on my face. So what I've got to do is just go get more people. And then I find a prince, and it's Selwyn. And next minute, Selwyn becomes a prince, because Selwyn is a prince at heart. He was a frog, he was a prince in disguise as a frog. So he quickly became a prince. And Lee says, man, I want to be a prince too. And I didn't do anything. He just says, he follows somebody else. Make sense? Success in isolation is hard. Success in a group becomes easier. See, I know when I was in these rooms, when in the audience, I would look at other people and think, hang on, how does he do that? I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. That's, whatever was said here, I think, well, that's good stuff. But I'd look at other people in the room and think, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. But it's present. Just make sense? My mentor didn't teach me anything. Really, he put me into environments where I was competing with other people within the environment and working with people in the environment. Just remember that, didn't I? So, on the imperative side, call John about the meeting. What day are we today? Tuesday? Is it Tuesday today? Our next meeting is Thursday, yes? Call John about the meeting on Thursday. Call Stephen about the meeting on Saturday. Send out text me. No, call, for me, most of it is call Fred, call John, call Susie, call Bill. Call to get them to the meeting. My second priority is talking to my new distributors to make sure they have got people come to the meetings. My third priority is talking to my new supervisors, helping them do the same. My fourth priority is working with my supervisors, helping them develop supervisors. Make sense? I could spend a whole week on that one session. But most of us do not have enough people. We don't have enough frogs in our business to work out who's going to become a prince and who's not. We're trying to turn 7 frogs into princes when you need 70. Okay? When you go out of here today, I'm telling you, if you're not talking to people in bigger numbers tomorrow, you're not going to get there. It's fascinating, really. It's just not. Yeah, but I'm not confident. Yeah, okay, me too. And I don't know what to say. Yeah, me too. I don't know what to say half the time either. You better say something. If you say something enough times, you'll work it out. It's okay, guys. On the important are things which aren't directly related to you getting your goals. I'll give an example. Sure, I should share all this stuff. Got to go to the bank for Claude. Got to get his money out of the bank for his car. But that's not imperative. Going to make an appointment with the broker. I'm going to put both of my boys in front of a broker. Got to sort out some stuff to read Carmona and Houston. Oh, I've already done this one already, and I was on the important, not the imperative list. Imperative. I've got to make some Garen calls. I've got to get a Garen mailing. I've got 2 free tickets that I've got to sort out. This week, agreements, fly, schedule, get some stuff I've got to do today, literally today, in order to set up through to the end of the month. Got it? Questions? Questions on that before we move on?
George, if you've got another job or you're running another business, would you suggest having just one imperative important list, or would you have 2 separate ones?
Only one. Yeah. The other one's not important. You know, oh, dear, I'll get in trouble. Any questions on time organization? By the way, I can give you 1,000 ideas on time organization, and most of them are a waste of time. This is the key to time organization. You've got some goals. This is absolutely directly the thing that will get you your goals. Most other stuff just gets done or doesn't have to be done. I've seen people so busy doing stuff which is not imperative. I'll tell you in here, by the way. You'll work at about the rate your self-image will allow you to work based on what you achieve. If you see yourself as a certain level, you can be so damn busy achieving what you need to achieve at that level. So, again, what you've got to do is change your philosophy. The way to change your philosophy is through association. Hang around us long enough, and you'll start to think like the president's saying. And then you'll find the things that you thought were important are not important. They're not imperative. They're just not. Most things I've found just get done. Like you might have to put there. I've seen people so organized doing stuff that just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Write it down anyway. And eventually one of 2 things will happen. Either you have to move it to the imperative list or it just disappears. Like get a haircut. It's not imperative today. In 3 months' time, it might be. Do you understand? Get your nails done. I've seen people, it's more important to get their nails done than go talk to a prospect, unless there's a prospect in the thing. I've got to get my nails done. That's pretty imperative. That's going to clearly get you your goals. And I can guarantee that's the step towards global expansion team, isn't it? Not. Yet I've seen people spend more time doing that sort of stuff and have some sense of accomplishment when I promise you guys, if you do what I'm asking you to do, every single one of you will be to the next pin by Houston, Texas, by Houston in July. Let's move on. Is that okay? Time organization. I want to talk about procrastination. I'm going to give you the solution. It's really simple. Write down in your imperative list a very small list. Not a long list. The way to start is to start in your imperative list. It's how to overcome procrastination. Write down only a few things. Because this is what happens. Your unconscious mind says, I write it down, I achieve it. I write it down, I achieve it. I can put down 43 things in my imperative list and I'll get them all done. Unconsciously, I won't allow myself to write it down unless I'm pretty sure I'm going to achieve it on imperative. Important, you can have 100 things and you can get none of them done today. That doesn't make a difference. But in the imperative, you start with 4 or 5 things. At the end of the day, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. Almosters procrastinate. They almost start. They almost get done what they've got to get done. They almost get going. You know those procrastinators that then comes 11 o'clock, then they start to do the work because they gave them just too much to do. Imperative says, I've written a few things down and my unconscious mind says when it's written down on that side of the page, it gets done, it gets done, it gets done, it gets done. So when you write down 43 things, right now you're writing down too many things. You're giving yourself too much to do. And it's like trying to eat an elephant. How do we eat an elephant? It's too big. I'll get around to it, or I'll tomorrow. Well, you just bite the bloody thing. Making sense? Any questions on what I've just said there? This is how you overcome procrastination. Procrastination is purely a habit. It's often the people that drive the furthest to get to a meeting are always on time, yet the people that live around the corner are always late. It's just a habit. It's just a habit. That's what it is. Any questions on this? None of this is revolutionary, by the way. You know everything I'm saying. Let's take another one. Fear of judgment. Guys, this is how you deal with this one. Write down where Herbalife is going to be in 20 years' time. Write down what problems the world will face in 20 years' time. And you will feel 9 feet tall and bulletproof. Because if you look at the problems the world will face in 20 years' time, global warming, climate change, there won't be enough food to feed the world, there won't be enough land to grow the food, forests will have finally been gone, and there won't be enough rain where there used to be rainforests, so the rain's going somewhere else where the cows aren't. So there won't be enough food to feed the cows, to feed the world. And the oceans are going to rise 1 metre or 2 metres in the next 20 years. The 85 million people displaced out of the Pacific region, Pacific basin. Some of the major food areas, remember a lot of food is grown on plains, on flat areas, yes? So flat areas are what? When the ocean rises 1 metre, what's going to happen to those flat areas? Salt water's going to come. So when the food's been grown, they won't be able to grow the food. And usually those areas are grazing areas for cows. Just tell you this generally. I'll keep talking about this all day. So what we have is the most cost-effective, smart, environmentally friendly food on earth. Food, can you live on Herbalife? Yes, you can. You wouldn't want to. It's good to eat other stuff. But, for us to continue eating fish, most of the salmon that we eat is farm salmon. And if you learned watch anything about farm salmon, you wouldn't eat it. Again, I'm not. Is it better than a pie? Yes, it is. Probably. You can live on it. That's just in terms of product. What about economically? Governments will not be able to support their populations. There will be things. There will be food wars. There will be, there will be countries invading other countries in 20 years' time because that country doesn't have enough food. Just imagine Israel, if some of those other countries just decide to stop the water going down into Israel. They could do that. War. I can keep here. This is the magic thing about our business. The magic thing is if a tsunami hit Los Angeles tomorrow, wiped out head office, wouldn't make any difference to our business. They've got enough farms, they've got enough product being supplied. The leadership of Herbalife, we lost our president, Mark Hughes, everybody was devastated. I thought, no, don't worry about it. The leadership will rise to the top some way, somehow, we'll be solved because the product is a product that directly affects the lives of human beings, and the business directly affects the livelihood of human beings. So I could talk about this all day. This is the magic. If something happens in one country, we've got another 90 countries to do business in. One country's up, one country's down, makes no difference. Economically, this is the ultimate form of security. Security does not come from the government, does not come from a company, it comes from what you can do. Remember I said, the ultimate personal development, royalty-driven business, incredible product, incredible market, incredible company, to support it. So when I'm talking to somebody, what was the thing? A judgment, fear of judgment. I don't have fear of judgment. Because, if somebody's judging Herbalife, well, they just project 20 years down the road. We are going to be famous. We are. Just think about this for a minute. You guys sitting here, you just hang around long enough, even if you're not that good. If you just hang around long enough, you're going to succeed. Tomorrow, you might recruit a Mark. You might recruit a name. You might recruit George. You might bump into me or somebody like me down at the pub, on my 4th double vodka martini. You never know, do you? You okay? If I didn't... Any questions on that, buddy? If you want to stop me, ask me questions. How do you feel about that? Who brought that up as an objection? As an obstacle? Who brought that one up? Fear of judgment. Oh, Costas. Costas, especially young guy. All these old guys. Let me tell you my attitude. They envy you. You got to stand up. My mind is this. You've got to stand up on it. They would love to be free and young and enthusiastic and good looking like you. Going to marry somebody free, young, good looking. Look at them. You might have a few money, drive a nice car, get fat, get ugly. Got all sorts of bathroom problems as they get old. And you're looking fantastic. So what you've got to do, it's like when I lost all the money, when I first got Herbalife, I lost all the money. So I thought my friends were judging me. No, I was just afraid they were judging me. They weren't judging me at all. They didn't actually care. You reckon they were thinking about that funny George Knight? He went broke. You reckon they thinking about that? No, they're thinking about, like you get a photograph of 100 people, as long as you look good, it's a good photograph, isn't it? All those people that are judging you, they're not judging you. They don't care. Well, they don't care. No, they don't care. You single guys, when you're trying to chat up a good-looking girl and something you made it real boo-boo and you spilled a red wine on a white dress or something like that, you done something really goosey all night. You feel like a dick. Within 30 seconds, they don't care about you because they're trying to impress whoever they're trying to impress. You just think people think about you because they don't. You ever been to a funeral? When you go to the funeral, everybody, for those 3 hours is crying and sobbing, and it's just, and 2 years later, what's his name? God, he went to that funeral. Just say, it's called the ice ball theory. Like in 1,000 years, who really gives a rat's ass about you? A place is an ice ball, there's the next global warming climate thing, frozen, what do you call it, ice age. Who cares about you? Look, I'm really worried about what they think of me, and in 1,000 years, I can keep talking all day. How are you feeling about this, guys? These are the games you're going to play with this one. They don't care. Not that they don't care, but they're too busy caring about themselves. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's how life is. Limiting beliefs. Golly. You've really got to work on your goals accomplished. You've got to be around, you've got to have people who continually can help you work on the stuff that you've achieved, no matter how tiny it is. Your unconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a big success and a little success. You got it? Your unconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a big win and a little win. So just start to build your bank of little wins. I don't care how tiny you think it is. There's a couple of calls. Again, we're almost out of time. So is this helpful, guys? Again, you've got to do something about this. We're not delivering all the answers. When you go home, you have to spend a bit of time today. Do it today. Don't do it tomorrow. I mean, this is the reason why you do it today. Ready for this? Psychologically, everyone said in those first few seconds when you wake in the morning, is when your mission is most obvious. What you wake up in the morning thinking about is what is currently driving, is currently your mission. Who's seen my bedroom? What's in my bedroom? A lot of Mickey Mouse stuff, isn't it? A lot of Disney stuff. A lot of visual of the happiest place on earth. Why? It doesn't matter. That I've said, they've been in my house. I said, come look at my bedroom to prove that that's what it doesn't matter. You know, I just say that because my brother's not. So why? I used to wake up always in a bad mood. You know, Melbourne weather does affect your attitude. It does. Yet I could have my attitude strong every morning. I wake up, whatever my attitude is, I wake up, what do I see? I see Mickey Mouse, I see Mickey Mouse, I see my cartoon characters, I love Disneyland. I see it's a Disney feeling around me. I've got Disney music that I'm listening to sometimes when I wake up. And what do they say about Disneyland? It's the happiest kingdom on earth, happiest place on earth. So that's automatically, that's sort of what I'm thinking now. I wake up with positivity in my brain. Most of us don't. We wake up, what do? We go straight to our phones. We use our phone as our wake-up call. Amazing. Talk about focus. You then become a viper. Don't use your phone. This afternoon, who used their phone, who used their phone as an alarm clock in the morning? Okay, this is what you do on the way home today. Go and buy an alarm clock. Major goal. Buy an alarm clock. So I can guarantee you, when your alarm wakes you up, you don't just wake up with the alarm. You go and look at what's on your phone. I know you do. It's impossible not to. Don't touch the wet paint, you touch the wet paint. Don't think of the pink elephant, you think of the pink elephant. And automatically, you engage in somebody else's priorities. Okay? Best, I'm going to see what's important. Nothing's important. I'm going to pick up the phone, no matter what. But if any of you know me, I almost never answer my phone. Almost never. Because when I clear my messages, and by the way, I don't keep any store any numbers. So I can't even see who's phoning me. A couple of numbers I recognise. Why do I do this? A phone is for me to phone someone. There's about 5 people that I will talk to, or at least have a look, and maybe respond, if I'm doing something else. But most phone calls are an interruption to your priorities. Most times your phone, it's a cancer. It is contaminating your priorities. It's contaminating your focus. It's important. What's important on Facebook? There's nothing. Just nothing. I can guarantee you, you'll probably make it through the day without clearing your Facebook stuff. I can guarantee you probably make it through the day without clearing. Because most stuff that we expose ourselves to is not imperative in relation to our goals. Just most stuff. Now, I know people will argue it. Good luck. You win your argument. Because I actually don't care. It's not that I pretend as I don't care. I truly actually don't. Just thought I'd let you clear that. Whatever you want to do to contaminate your brain, it is up to you, baby. What I want to do is be in control of what I'm being exposed to. In other words, I protect my brain, my attitude more than anything else. I've got 2 things going for me. You've got 2 things going for me. Your time and your attitude. Don't let people waste your time, and do not let them contaminate your attitude. You only got 2 things: time and attitude, nothing else. Everything else, if you're a Christian, everything else is online. Everything else is on loan. The time on earth is toss a corner, baby. What they say, if you want to hear the angels laugh, tell them your dreams. Everything I'm saying here was not in control of anything, really, but you've got a bit of time and you've got your attitude today. You okay with that? I'm not a religious person at all, by the way. This is about as much you're going to get from me on that stuff. So, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, time. In the mornings, that's right, about mission. and your focus. Guys, this is, I'm sure you how to get control of your mission in a minute. But U.S. Anderson says that most of the negatives were put into you in a state of high emotion. Most of your limiting beliefs were put into you in a state of high emotion. You can't do that. You just clean up your room, you're just untidy, you don't respect anybody. It's usually put into us in a state of high emotion. We're embarrassed about something. A story. When I was younger, I can't remember exactly how old I was, maybe I was maybe 10. And I was at the church, the Richmond Baptist Church, before Christmas. They had a little Christmas pantomime thing. And I was in there and I had to say some things like, about Jesus and the angels, whatever it was, I can't remember. And we had these dummy sheets, right? And so even though I knew what I was supposed to say, they had the dummy sheet. It was like butcher paper. I'll tell you. And the guy, I was reading it out, and he didn't pull one sheet off, he pulled two sheets. So I started to read out what was on the next page, and people laughed. I'm 10, and they're laughing at me. Ha 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 ha! I'm feeling, I'm a bright face, I blush. And I went on and finished because I knew what I was supposed to say. And I read it without the notes, without any prompting. But for many, 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 many years, whenever I spoke in public, I had to have notes. I can tell you, I know more about goal setting than just about anybody anywhere. Yet I still, although not so much now, I still have needed notes as a security blanket. So often it's the things which affect us, which is such a tiny little thing from way back when. But you can analyse it. But again, I'm going to say, if you want to make impression of life, great capital, there's a goal actually defined. I believe that a written plan of action, writing, Christmas thought, writing, in a habit of journaling your thoughts constantly, you overwhelm the negativity with this input. You can't overcome the negative crap that's there. Then you go to a psychiatrist. Now let's analyse why you are afraid. 63 sessions later, we're still trying to analyse. Maybe he should be lying down on the couch. I'm saying, oh, okay, you're screwed. Next. Let's get on with it. Yeah, but you don't understand. Yes, I do. But you don't understand my situation. Okay, let's now spend a lot of time explaining why you're going to be a failure. Or we can just get on it. Is this making sense, guys? Most people, this is a general thing, a lot of people have challenges in life, and because they get caught up in those challenges when all they need is a goal which is more important than the challenge. Why do people jump off the West Gate? I don't see a future. Well, let's see a future then. Let's get a future. That's it. Now we've got a future. Let's now focus on something. Anyway, better move on. So, clear? I want to come back to the limiting beliefs. I can tell you now, for Costas especially, you are probably developing more disciplines, more skills, more public speaking ability than most people twice your age with more experience. And you've got to acknowledge that. When you're up in front of a group, you are extraordinary. You articulate better than I could ever have done at your age, and probably better than I could now. And you do it well, and you do it consistent, and you are, I'd keep going, I can give you more of your goals. You're consistent, you're persistent, you don't give up, you keep going, you keep focusing. You have the respect of many, many other people. We could drop you anywhere on this planet, you'd be able to do her life. Anywhere on this planet, based on your script, based on your condition. Limiting beliefs are not for you. Let's finish next. That's for the other Costas. I'm going to finish off on maybe, funny thing, if your phone rang 10 times a day with somebody asking you about the products of the business, how would you feel? Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? What if you're just really useless? What if you don't know what to say? What if you're scared? What if you haven't got any confidence? 10 people a day phone you up and say, could you tell me about Herbalife, about the products of the business? 10 times a day, 50 times a week. Some way, somehow, you're going to succeed, aren't you? Just imagine if one of those was a George Knight, or a Mark or Lee, or Maria, or whatever, Quentin or whatever. Well, maybe you don't grow straight away, but you can have such success that you can then sit on the top of a mountain and sort out your shit. Because you don't have to worry about the money. Am I making sense? I was going to get sarcastic there. Okay, have we covered off on most of them, directly or indirectly? The art, how to prospect, the way to present thing, if you haven't listened to it, don't listen to it once, guys. If you have listened to it, don't listen to it once. Listen to it 100 times. How to master time organization, don't listen. I don't do so, I've listened to that. Did you get it? Listen to it 100 times. Play it over and 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 over again. The presentation, over and over and over and over and over and over again. How to focus is all on these calls, by the way. Power of goal setting, what I'm saying here is on those calls. Listen to it, listen to it, listen to it. Space repetition, space repetition. Overwhelm the negativity with positive input. And then move on. A couple of other things. In the goals, clear, there's a solution. Target dates. I'm going to say, get a communal target date. Houston, July. You're on stage getting the next pin. US extravaganza. The Australian Army hits Houston. Hey, it's Houston. Get the rocket ship. Houston, Houston, we have a problem. We have too many Aussies here. What do we do? We're going to have to get translators. You ever spend any time in Texas? You got to speak American for them to understand you. They do not understand Australians. You got to sound like an American. Here in just a couple of the these are some of the little goals accomplished that I've accomplished, right? For the journal. Some of these are personal. Had my hip fixed. Listening to Paul almost every day. Get this, bought $100,000 of gold. Wow. Want 3 more properties. This is interesting. I did the best training of my life at the Brisbane Summit. So then we've got some goals. These are just goals. This is interesting. Guess what my first goal is? Gym 3 times a week. 82 kilos for something. Do exercise with Bianca at least once a week. Be smart. Earn $200,000 in March. Go to Harvey Bay while watching. Christmas 2018 in Aspen. And stuff. And then the journey, there's some notes. And I've only just started to write the notes to stuff. And then in the back, the dreams. Some of the dreams are pretty, sort of way out there. Really way out there. Well, I do have a goal. I want to be, I want to be on, it may not be Branson's, but I want to go up in the, we're going to do it this year, 2018, up in space. You don't actually go up, you can't see the whole Earth, by the way, on what they're going to do. You can see the curvature of the Earth, show how far. I want to do that. I want to ski Aspen on my 100th birthday, etc. But you've all got dreams, just write them down. For your long-term dreams, they shouldn't be realistic. People should look at your dreams and say, you're whack. That is way out there. But your short-term goals, like your 12-month goals, your goals through June, July, they should be achievable. They should be mentally accomplished. You should be able to see yourself getting those things. And you should be able to have some measurable progress towards them today. Not next week, today. This day. Then, by the way, guys, I'll show you this. In my bag, a lot of people laugh at the bag. It's pretty heavy. And the reason why my bag is heavy, at any point in time I get caught in the airport, I can operate out of my bag for a couple of days. There's enough product in there, there's enough little containers of shake. There's enough stuff in there. Relax now. Stress at airports to get by. Wallet with everything, all the tabs and stuff like that. A diary with, in my diary, everybody says, well, don't you use your phone as your diary? Personally, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is every time they go look at their diary, what do? They get distracted by somebody else's priorities. I go to my diary and I am distracted with my absolute priorities. Nobody else's priorities, calendar for the year, the meetings, stuff like that, numbers that I got to call, or my travel arrangements, everything is in the diary. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying most of us do not have the discipline to not get caught up in other people's priorities when we go to our diary, when we go to our phone to see our appointments. Am I making sense? I'm not saying you should get it. No, I'm saying you should get it. It's the most expensive diary, by the way, you can buy through Franklin Covey. Really expensive diary because it's got all this other stuff in it that I never use. It's too complicated for me. It's real simple. I have my diary in front of me all day. I have my imperative important list in front of me all day. That's why I get done more in a day. I get more done in a day than most of it done in a week. If I copy something, cross it off, cross it off, cross it off, cross it off, cross it off. Some people are winners, some people are losers, most people are almosters. We don't quite win, we don't quite lose, we almost get there. Don't get out of the habit of being almost. This is a funny little thing, by the way. That's a passport thing, is right? So in my passport thing are the people that I need to call each day, and what I do the night before is work out who I'm going to call. Well, I've got to call Tony today. I've got to call my brother today. Call him. There's a couple of people that should have been here that aren't here. I'll be calling them. Got to check with Bruce. Kirsty's on the call now. I want to check with her. Got to call Kim. I've got to call Kylie, and she turns up. Got to call Evelyn. These are existing distributors. And I've got prospects here as well. But let me tell you what happens. And then I know my priorities. The people I've got to work with on a high priority basis. But then it's interesting. Within this are also my affirmations. Why have I got my affirmations in here? Because I work on the people I've got to call all the time. And every now and again, I don't want to do what I'm doing. So I get the affirmations out and I read the affirmations.
You've got a special dial in. You were just talking about him and he's dialing in about to start the workshop in Perth, so we thought he'd dial in and say hello. Thank you.
So I've got health, and somebody was just asked me, do I break it up? These are affirmations. Affirmations, by the way, are just something which it's almost like a chant that you repeat yourself again and again and again and again and again to affect your unconscious mind. Health. I sleep 7 hours per night. I am calm. I sleep deeply and soundly, awake, refreshed, alert, and energized. My mind is calm and clear. 2 shakes a day, 1 healthy meal. I exercise every day. I'll ski Aspen snowmats when I'm 100. The universe is conspiring in my favour. I'm lucky. I'm right. It is my time. I live an amazing and exciting life. I love life. I live a miraculous life. Miracles happen to me every day. I live in a state of total bliss. Do the uncomfortable. Get it out of the way. I transcend my limitations to help people break the success barriers. I'm a perfect expression of perfect love right here and right now. A total sustainable nutrition program. We help people write better stories about their lives. I have more Get Milk and prayers than all others in Australia. 2018 Chairman's Club, 3 more diamonds, 20K. I've earned the right. It is here. It is now. My business is exploding here in Victoria, Australia, around the entire world. I'm a special person. Blah, 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 blah. No, whatever it is to you, but to get it. So I'll be sitting there. I'm on a plane. I'm waiting. I'm tired or whatever. You've got to flood your unconscious mind. You've got to flood it. You've got to overwhelm the negativity. And then around you.
Can we show them
yes.
what we're doing?
With it perfectly.
Hey, George! Hey, George!
Yeah.
George!
Hello.
What time is it?
Hey?
What time is it?
Get out. It's now.
Yeah.
Are we? Here.
Say hi, gang.
Hi, this guy. Man, I was just going through some affirmations and I was just about to say about time, it's here and now. Guys, I'm not sure. I've got to say this. I wish I was there with you guys because Kim is the master of goal setting. You got to understand, Kim used to bring people like Jim Rowan, Dennis Waitley, those guys who are the masters of personal development. He used to bring those guys to Australia before he got involved with Herbalife. And so he really is the master of goal setting. And he'll tell you the story where he thinks I'm the master of goal setting. It's not true. Seriously, I got my first personal development program when I was 18, and that's all the stuff that I use. It's the reason why, frankly, you guys and these guys are lucky to be in this organization. Remember, we're a personal development, royalty-driven business with an incredible product, an incredible marketing plan, and an amazing company to support it. Personal development and a royalty-driven personal development business. Ultimate financial freedom is what you're sitting on right now. So have a great day, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Speak to you later on, Kimbo. Love you. Kim is my best friend. Kim got into business. He was doing some property stuff over here in Melbourne, just lost a lot of money, and lost on my doorstep. I said, geez, Kim, you're fat. He said, don't talk to me about Herbalife. I said, okay, that was on like Saturday. We go, it's late Saturday night, Saturday. And Wednesday morning, I'm pacing out of the office. I hear this groaning coming from the spare bedroom. He said, geez, what's up, Kim? He said, man, can you give me some of those products? I said, sure, mate, what do you need? He says, everything. And that night I come home and said, you're going to pay retail or wholesale? He says, wholesale, of course. I said, you have to sign up. He said, you got me. You guys, you never know what it's like. Kim has got the largest organisation in Indonesia. He's got some 45 president's team members. Is that right? He's got some 45 president's team members, like level of one in his business. He's 45 in Indonesia. You're going to see some of these guys over here in Australia over the course of the next couple of months. And next week, some of them coming over for a Garen next week. So, guys, I've nearly finished. But around you, at home today, you've got to look at your environment. You've got to view your environment and ask yourself the question, is this environment conducive with my goals? Just give you one little example of that attitude. When you walk into your front door, look at your doormat. This is crazy. Look at your doormat. If it's a crappy old doormat, throw it out, get a new one, but just don't have one. But every time you walk over the threshold of your home, it's an affirmation. Tonight, before you go to bed, go to your clothing, go to your clothes. If you've got clothes in there which don't look right, like you've got that nice jacket that's got a little hole over the collar, nobody can see it, but you know it's there. It's an affirmation that you're a poor person. Get the jacket, throw it out, give it away to the beings. Go through, all those knives and plates and forks that are all misshaped and wrong and crap. Get all the plates. If there's 3 in your house, you need 3 plates. 3 knives, 3 forks, all the other stuff. Just chuck it out. Throw it out. Get rid of it. Start fresh. Make sense? Those old shirts that you hang on to because you might need them, you're not going to need them. You haven't needed them for the last 12 months. Why do you think you're going to need them in the next 12 months? Throw them out. Just in case. Just in case what? Just in case you're poor. Just in case you don't make a lot of money. Get rid of them. Your car, clean it. Today, make it clean. Have a president's team car. Remember, people say, my car's old. Yeah, better to have a clean old car than no car or a dirty car. Clean it. The affirmation might be a crappy car. This afternoon, go down to the Opie shop place, the thing, and get the Ferrari key ring. And put it to the old Holden, crappy old car thing. And every time you get out of that car, thank you for the car I'm driving on the way to the car I want. You watch the sound of that old Holden, it's going to sound better. Your car will run better. Have you ever noticed when you're about to get a new car, how your existing car starts to rattle more? Now, I'm not sure that's because you noticed it or just unconsciously, even our unconscious mind is so powerful, it can affect even mechanical. I don't know that, by the way. I do wonder. I keep talking about this for hours, but when you go out, guys, unless you look good, unshaved, shave. But I got a grey beard. It adds 5 years to my life. When I, 5 years to my age, I want to do that. When I go out, I'm, shave. And the girls do. Joking. You said, look as good as you can look. Just look as some of you look great with the, by the way, I'm going to tell you. This is the Don Johnson look. This isn't the modern. This is the Don Johnson look. Don Johnson's been dead for about 100 years. So anyway, all I'm saying, do whatever you've got to do to make this and look good. It makes sense? Look 100%. Look, you're 100%. And I'm saying part of that is to clean out. Go to that cupboard today with all those old plates, cracked plates. As I said, if there's 3 of you, you need 3 plates. Get rid of the old plates. Yeah, but I'll keep those for when I, for my kids or when I go to a holiday house. Yeah, they're going to take those old cracked plates, aren't they? Not. Give them away to somebody that needs those things. All those old, when you go home today, all the Sunsilk and the Estee Lauder and blah, 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 put them in a garbage bag and give them to somebody you don't like. Because everything, I'm telling you how to get the present team easily. Easily. It's got to be mentally accomplished before it can be physically accomplished. Everything is an affirmation. Everything affirms that where we've been, where we are, or where we're going. Where do you want to go? And surround yourself with things which affirm and support you where you want to go. I'm sure I should talk about this, but Bianca did something yesterday. She's up in Townsville. Her family have been pretty negative sort of people. I hope she don't mind me talking about this. She said to me yesterday, she said, well, after being down in Melbourne for a year, the negativity would have gotten me in the past. Now, I just brush it aside. But to me, it was a major, you think how strong I felt. I felt really, really, really quite emotional and proud about that. Because that conditioning of that environment is pretty limited. The culture of Townsville is pretty limited, by the way. The culture in Adelaide, I'll give you that because I know I've got Adelaide people here. In Adelaide, people are always comparing themselves to other states. Well, here in Adelaide it's this, or here in Adelaide it's that. My Adelaide is different because we take our own weather wherever we want to go. People say, I'll move to another place. There's a better place to do business. No, you're going to take your own weather with you. I could do business anywhere. Anywhere. It's impossible. And I would do business anywhere. I love doing business here. It's just easier. But it's 99% between the ears. And so around you, by the way, one of the things people say, they used to say to me, go and take photographs of you in the Lamborghini and so on and so on. I found that quite negative. I always found that like going shopping with a credit card in a beautiful shop when your credit card is maxed out. I'd be depressed. So the thing that I'm asking you to do is to get absolutely focused on the next pin. This is what you get obsessed with, the pin. Because the pin creates a lifestyle. If you were making an extra $5,000 to $15,000 a month there, how would your life be different? So don't have to worry about the lifestyle, just worry about the pin. We're a pin company. This is a funny thing, I just thought about this. Just focus on the pins. If you're a millionaire team, it's only one pin. It's president's team, that's it. It's president, that's it. No, but president, I am president. Not I am president's team, I am president's team. What does the president's team do? What does the president's team look like? I'm talking about the president's team that you want to do. How does the president's team talk? How does the president's team think? What does the president's team do? If you're making 30,000 plus a month in royalty income, what would be different? So it's just the pin you've got to worry about. The pin is what you're going to focus on. President's team realistically is 55 to 65 supervisors in your 3 levels attending 2 meetings a week, 2 meetings a month, 2 meetings a year before the meeting. You've got a president's team within the 3 levels. Finally, can we just want you to watch, there's a couple of things that I just want us to look at. What I'm doing now is just showing a couple of quick slides, guys. No need to, I'll show this to you. While we're doing this, there's a question you've got to ask yourself. We're nearly out of time. Is it worth the price you've got to pay? Is it worth the price you have to pay? Because if it's not worth the price you have to pay, you won't pay that price. You know, to me, it's worth, for me to be free, it's worth any price. Whatever I have to do, it's older, to be free. Have choices. Whatever, again, whatever freedom is to you. I've seen people who are multi-millionaires who are not free. I've seen people who make very little money who are free. Freedom is being in a situation where you can do what you want to do, with whom you want to do it, the way you want to do it, when you want to do it. Freedom is, I mean, if you're just being a bit negative, silly about it, if you want to fly in the back of the plane to the United States, you fly in the back of the plane. Or fly in the front of the plane. It's very social in the back of the plane. You can do a lot of prospecting back there. And you learn to be very slim. So you can't eat like, you can't, and you learn to be very disciplined. And you learn to sleep sitting up. So it's good for one thing. I make joking with it, but you know, if you've got the choice where you want to fly. Domestically, by the way, I always fly economy. I can't get it. If I'm flying an hour, why do I need to fly the business with a whole bunch of business dudes? I'm not interested in that at all. Long haul, front of the plane, sleep. Short haul, you know, does my ego need to fly in front of the plane? No, it does not. You know, I don't care. I could care less.
It's time to get up, hands on your feet. To this great Woodstock in Pennsylvania, beat stop like this wall. And speed up north, let's stop the rain. Cause we're about to find out things are